All right, it's been a hectic couple weeks with a lot of traveling. I had to go to Syracuse one weekend, then New York City this weekend. This is Memorial Day, 2025, and I'm sitting here at Chopperhead. This is going to be the second of the Rewind series, and this one's a little bittersweet. Not going to lie. It's with my boy Big Nick, who passed away. It's been a couple years since he passed away. But this episode originally aired on July 29th of 2020. I didn't even realize the podcast is that old. I'm serious. I think it's like 2 years old. That's, there was a few years, 2020 through 23 or something was kind of like a time loop anyway, with a little time vortex, So, but yeah, I said this one's bittersweet. Nick was a really, really close friend of mine who I knew for a long time. I'm actually one of the guys that actually got him into motorcycles. And I was very proud to see him become such a force in the world of custom motorcycles. He moved from New York to California, had his shop. He used to split with REV, Nick. The antics that they had for getting themselves invited to Born Free the first time will go down in history. Nick going from choppers over to like more performance-oriented bikes and making a mark in both worlds. Like I said, super proud of my bro. It's super sad that he's not with us anymore because, there's a lot of potential there that we will never see. So it's a loss to the to the greater motorcycling community as a whole. So anyway, this one's an homage to my homie Big Nick. Rest in peace. Love you forever, dude. But yeah, so I just wanted to re-release this one. Like I said, it's been a hectic couple weeks. I haven't had a new episode recorded yet. I have a good one on deck that's just been a little hard to get scheduled. My man Austin Picard, we recorded half an episode and then got some technical difficulties and then just trying to catch up. So he should be coming on next week. But until then, just enjoy this blast from the past. Again, this is a chopper and a custom motorcycle-oriented one. We also talk about just, Nick's history, his background, his move, the ups and downs and pros and cons of owning a custom motorcycle shop and all that stuff. So keep it locked. Before we get into it, just a little bit of not house cleaning, but actually just a little bit of, just a little bit of paying the bills here. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Glassman over at the Glassman Injury Attorneys. That's who you need to call if you are in the unfortunate situation. If if you're ever in a motorcycle accident, make sure you're good. Take pictures of the scene, and then call Glassman right away. 617-777-7777. Anywhere in the country, they got you covered. Glassman's a rider, and is a injury attorney who specializes, in motorcycle and bike accidents. So hit them up. They're the pit bulls of this. You have 3 years from the time of the accident to actually start a claim. And, and even if you got an attorney right now and the cases are dragging out and they ain't doing their job, fire the 0, get the pit bulls on it. Got to get Glassman on Instagram. Phone is 617-777-7777. If you are in the need of artwork, right? You got some space you want to fill, make things look a little better. Whether it's in your house, your apartment, your cubicle at work, or wherever you work, your tattoo shop, your motorcycle shop, your garage, your personal garage, whatever. You got to give up. Give up. You got to give a call. Just give up, right? No, but if you don't give up and you are dead set on getting some artwork, you got to give Tattoo Flash Collective a ring. Well, don't give them a ring. Just go to their website, www.tattooflashcollective.com. You can find them on Instagram and all the social medias at Tattoo Flash Collective. My boy Johannes running a legit operation, collaborating with tattoo artists worldwide to, one, make Tattoo Flash, of course, which is cool art in itself. So if you have a tattoo shop, take special heed of this. But they do prints and books and, tattoo print. I mean, sorry, tattoo oriented stuff, obviously, but just art in general, and from these artists. So any size, you know what I mean? You want a big, huge poster, or you just want a little postcard size piece of artwork, and they print it. There's different options. You can have it printed on more economy paper, or you could have it printed on museum quality paper, whatever you want. They got it. So hit them up, tattooflashcollective.com, for all your artwork and art books needs. They got it. Like I said, it's a collective, so there's no big corporate stuff there. The money comes in, you buy the print, and Johannes covers the cost of the manufacturing, and then they split the profits with the artist. I don't know what the exact percentage is, but I know this dude is more than fair, and every artist that he works with is extremely happy. So check him out, tattooflashcollective.com. If you want to check out my shop, Chopperhead Custom Cycles, located at 13 County Road, East Freetown, Mass. You know already, if you've been listening to this podcast, that it's a full brick and mortar motorcycle shop. We're not just a lifestyle company. You need a oil change. You need a full custom bike built. You just need a t-shirt. Come on by. You need a helmet. We got it. Bell, Simpson, Biltwell, Daytona, whatever you want. We got it. You need an exhaust. You need whatever. But if you're not local, obviously if you're local, come by. You know what I mean? That's the advantage of having a shop you can walk into, try a helmet on, because they all fit different and whatnot, and we'll get you situated right. But if you are not local, just hit us up at chopperhead.com, spelled CHOPPAHEAD, and you will get some swag, we do have some parts online. If there's something you need and you don't see it, hit us up. We're connected with everybody, but I haven't fully developed that website. But yeah, otherwise, if you just want to sport, grab a t-shirt or hoodie, whatever, hats, whatever. Summer now, keep the sun out of your eyes. I forgot to mention Tattoo Flash Collective. Tattoo Flash Collective. If you use the promo code Big Truth, you get 10% off your order. If you use the promo code and you're a Patreon subscriber that you would get when you become a Patreon subscriber, you get even more off your order. So it pays to rep. And what is Patreon, by the way? That's a way for you to rep for this show. Obviously sharing the show with others, leaving a review, leaving a comment, pushing it out, getting it to people that you think might be interested in it. That's the best thing you can do. But if you want to financially support the show, go to patreon.com/bigtruth. There's 4 different levels of patronage there. That will get you exclusive access to the back end of the show. Like I do a lot of giveaways. You'll get early access to episodes anywhere from a week to a couple of days before it comes out. All kinds of stuff. So check out patreon.com/bigtruth. More information on the podcast in general, just go to bigtruthpodcast.com. And, other than that, let's just get into this rewind. Again, originally aired in 2020, July of 2020. Was it July 29th, I said? And it's my boy Nick Zazzi from Industry Customs. Check it out.
Sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have a liftoff.
Yes. Once again, we have liftoff. I want to thank you for listening to this episode of the Big Truth Podcast. It is episode 25, so I wanted to bring a special guest on. It's one of my old friends, one of my old homeboys who was originally from New York. Now he's out in California. You probably know him from Industry Customs. I want to thank you. I want to formally introduce you guys all to Big Nick. What's up, Nick?
What's happening, man? What's going on?
Not much, man. Just fumbling through a fucking intro. But dude, fucking what's going on, man? Fucking I know we just talked beforehand, and it's I'm on the East Coast where it's 100 degrees and 4,000% humidity, and you're in sunny California where it's 80 and no humidity.
Beautiful San Diego, living the fucking dream. Never got humidity, always 72 degrees and sunny.
Fuck yeah, man. That's cool. But so for those that don't know, Big Nick was in 2 episodes of 2 volumes of the old Chopperhead DVDs.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a staple with us at the old smokeouts. Like, I mean, dude, like we got a long history in this fucking chopper shit together. And,
Hell yeah!
And then you did the smart move and said, I want to be in the motorcycle industry, and it's really stupid to do that in the Northeast. And so you rolled the dice and went out there and made a smart move. Tell us, for people that might not be as familiar with you, tell a little bit about the story of like how you got into motorcycles and customs. I know it's like, we're all in that lineage where we're all about choppers, and then, opened up shops and had to kind of get more into spreading our interests and our repertoire of what we do. So we got kind of similar timelines there, but give a little bit of background about yourself and how you got into bikes and all of that shit.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much like probably well, I can't say that nowadays, but maybe back when I first got into it, we, as kids, we were doing this shit, from bicycles to mini bikes to dirt bikes and, cars. And I always had something that I was fucking around with. But I think really what happened with the motorcycles was, I mean, I always loved them. My grandfather rode, my father rode for a little bit, but I had a Mustang that I used to, everyday car, but I used to race it on the weekends, and actually met Jim P up by you and came up there one weekend for a fun Ford weekend, and he brought me by your shop, and that's what turned me on. You guys were actually the ones that got me started. And I was like, shit, you could fucking just actually build your own shit and make it work. So I think I left that weekend from Rhode Island and went home and started actually doing some research. And that was back in like 2003 or 4, I think. Is that pre-Posse Board or is that during the Posse Board? That was during the Posse Board. Yeah. Actually, no, wait. Yeah, it was pre-Posse Board because that's how I met Jim on the StangNet board. StangNet.com is where I met Jim.
Okay.
And then, yeah, we both had 86 Mustangs.
I didn't come in till later, till the Posse Board. That's when Jim brought me in. So for those that don't know, back in the early days of the internet, there were message boards that were thematic. And how Nick and I actually started talking, I had nothing to do. I could give a shit less about Mustangs. It was just there was this message board, and all we were a bunch of fucking jackasses and idiots, and just made each other laugh all day. It was like distractions from work, and it was called the Posse Board. And wasn't it kind of like all you guys got kicked off of the Mustang board and then started your own board or something because you guys were too much?
We would. I guess, according to them, I guess this was before internet bullying, but we were internet bullying other members on the Mustang board, and they called us the Posse. and then so they banned us all off of that board, and that's when Tony M from Connecticut started the Posse board, and then, which was basically fucked up because you just put a bunch of lions in one cage, and we had to feed off of each other, so it was just making fun of each other until somebody got too pissed off and quit themselves. But that's what we did. But and then that was the start of me into it because I went up there with Jim, and Jim introduced me to you, and I saw what you guys are doing in the shop. So then you guys are doing mostly the British bikes then, and then I started fucking around with the Harleys in my garage at home, and then I got a part-time job in a shop because I was still doing insurance work at that point. And I got a part-time job at Rolling Thunder in Hempstead, Long Island. Worked for them for a couple of years, and then branched out and did my own thing out of the garage. And then I moved out here 8 years ago now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
8 years. I came out here originally. Because I've been friends with Ari from V Manufacturing. I'm sure everybody knows of him too, doing all the handlebars and the frame repair and stuff. And I've been friends with him since man, probably now like 15 years.
Yeah, because we used to
yeah.
talk to them when it was him and his brother were doing Hot Rod Havoc stuff.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I met him years ago in Brooklyn when they were filming the Two Wheel Terrors, and then I had left Long Island. I was living in Maryland for a minute, and he had hit me up like jokingly, asking me when I was going to come out to California and learn how to weld. And I was like, fuck, I'll be there next month. Bought a one-way ticket, flew out here, had my bike shipped out here. I was out here for about 2 or 3 weeks. And there was a bigger shop opening in the complex where Ari had his shop. And I brought it to his attention and said, hey, what if we go in that place half and split it, share the roof, separate entities, just share the building? And he was like, fuck, you know, in Ari's typical fashion, whatever.
Yeah.
I flew back to the East Coast. I loaded up a U-Haul truck, and that was it. Picked up Christian at the fucking train station and drove cross country again, but this time was for permanent to stay.
Yeah, man.
And opened up shop out here. So we opened up. It's like we first started. It's a 2,000 square foot shop with me and him in it. And it was just me and him in the beginning. Matter of fact, I lived in the shop for a year. Just me and my dog lived in the shop, and Ari lived right down the street. And we were kind of. I mean, he's my. When I say this, I say this with a little jest that we were doing the same thing. I mean, his fabrication skills are beyond anything I've ever thought of. So at one point, I was like, okay, people are coming in here with both doing the old bike thing. You know, that's like you said, that's how we all started, riding rigids, shovel heads and panheads. And we were both kind of doing the same thing. And I go, man, something's going to go here, you know? So the first probably 2.5 years here, you know, it was slow. No one knew we were here. No one knew I was here. Ari had kind of already his foundation of doing bars and stuff. But still was not like really well known in like people knew him, I think, but a lot of people were buying stuff from him, and in my eyes, it looked like they were taking credit for his work. And we were sitting around one day. Me and you had gone to Born Free. I think it was Born Free 4, the one we all rode to.
Yeah.
And then me and Ari set up at Born Free 5, and we decided it would be a good idea to invite ourselves.
Yeah, that's right. Free. That's right. You had your brother make a fake list.
Yeah, I'm sure some people remember that. It was kind of like a little bit of an Instagram sensation around that time in this industry.
Yeah, if I may summarize that pretty quickly, how Nick and Ari got invited to Born Free was that Nick's brother is a graphic designer and does all kinds of crazy like graphic work and animation stuff, and so they had his brother take the Born Free list before it was released and added their names to it. So when it came out, it was almost like they had to get fucking.
Yeah,
it was an industry power move that was hysterical.
It could have backfired. Yeah, it could have backfired. But I was like, we sat here and we thought of it, and I'm like, fuck, man. It's always been told to me, any publicity is good publicity. And I learned that when I was in my bodybuilding days. I learned that from my good buddy King Kamali. He used to just get in the magazines and just talk shit. And everyone's like, man, this dude's a fucking asshole. And then you sit back and you go, wait a minute. Everybody knows who the fuck he is because he's doing this.
Yeah.
So I was like, if we just fucking do this, and we did it, and don't get me wrong, if Grant's out there listening, Grant will tell you he was fucking pissed. We had an argument on the phone the next day when he found out that we had just did it on our own. But we built the bike and we brought it there. We weren't invited that year, but we brought the bike and what I did was again, knowing, okay, here's the corral with all the builders' bikes in it. I can't put my bike in it, but if I flank the entranceway right in front of the big fucking Born Free sign, everybody has to see this bike. Everybody has to take pictures of this bike, and it paid off. They called us the next year and went, all right, you two fucking idiots.
Yeah,
Here you go.
Well,
build a bike.
It's a fucking hustle, right? And And you know what? It's fucking hysterical. And I know those dudes could have been pissed in the moment, but at some
they
point,
love it. Yeah, they
of
love
course.
it.
Like when they could step back from it, and then obviously, like you guys did more Born Frees, and Ari's, like had like one Born Free. You know what I mean? So it's like it was a good thing for everybody, and
it was across the board.
Sure, it pissed some people off at first, but everyone like, dude, it's fucking hysterical. You can't not fucking laugh at that, right? You know what I mean?
And I totally understood, Grant. Like we had the air totally clear. That December, we all went to Moon Ice in Japan, and me and him had spoken. We were both on the same page at that point. I know those guys put a ton of fucking work into that show, and for anyone to kind of make a mockery of it I shit. If I was doing something and someone did that to me, I'd bust somebody's fucking head wide open. There'd be no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I'd be fucking pissed. But
you guys weren't really making a mockery of it. You guys were just making sure you got invited. But
that's what we were. Yeah, basically
in a roundabout way, you know.
And I'll say it to this day. I said it since day one. I used to joke around every year, Born Free, and take a picture of the shop stuffed with bikes. And to this day, I will thank both of them, Mike and Grant, for inviting me, because both me and Ari became extremely busy after our name was on that list, and nobody knew we were here. And after that list, that Monday, the Monday after that fucking Born Free, 5 dudes walked through the door asking if I was Nick, and if I was Nick from Born Free, and if I could look at their bike. So it was a huge fucking thing in my career to boost the shop. And that's also when things started to change for me as far as the type of work I was doing. I went more from doing light fabrication and kind of full chopper builds to the Dyna FXR craze. And basically, I had my mechanical skills, of course, but basically really kind of having to learn how to build now twin cams from the ground up, and learn the computer systems and the wiring systems. And fuck, I just recently bought a fucking $5,000 fucking scanner so I could just bleed the brakes on a fucking M8.
So you'd have to go bring it over to Harley and have them fucking put it on the computer there.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's the gist of it. I came out here, the typical it's that typical story. I didn't know the huge jump I was making. When I was in New York, I worked for a medical malpractice company. I was an adjuster. I was licensed with the state. I worked with them for 15 years. I owned a house. We had, I had fucking 6 motorcycles. I had 4 cars. Shit, you guys were at that house so many times. I had the whole thing done, and I just said, fuck this. I don't like it. I'm not happy. I'm sick of the fucking weather. I came out to California. I said, damn, the skies don't even have clouds in them out here. This is fucking amazing. I'm opening up shop here. You ride year round. It's constantly going to be busy. And it didn't really hit me for quite some time. I was living in the shop, and just me and the dog. And I remember opening up the door one day of the room I was in and going, shit, I'm 3,500 miles away from everything I ever knew. I have no family. I have very few friends out here. I don't really know the area at all. Like, man, but I looked and I said, but I have a panhead and a New York accent and a New York hustle. With a New York hustle, a panhead, and an accent, you could fucking accomplish anything in California. For anybody listening, you could do that. Was that your $500 one that pissed everyone in California off? No. At the time, I had that was my 51, the little gorgeous killer bike.
The gorgeous killer. Yep.
Yeah, and then so fast forward a little bit. Like I said, I'm out here. I'm trying to fucking figure it out. And it was coming to a point where it was getting hard, before the Born Free invite. It was getting tough. I was living off a credit card. I was doing all the things that you hear people say. I was getting to the end, and they did an art show out here. Godspeed did an art show, and they were doing it in Oceanside. And then they said, hey, Cicero had got in touch with me and Ari. He had take a bunch of photographs of us and said, hey, I'm doing this little art gallery thing in Oceanside right by you guys. Would you mind putting your bikes in the gallery like with your group of pictures. And I'm like, no, fuck it. Again, any publicity, right? Get out there, do it. So it wound up being me, Ari, and Danny G in the what do you call it, in the
exhibit?
in the art show exhibit. Yeah. And so we hung out there, and it was fucking cool. It was cool because I mean, dudes, there were a lot of dudes in the industry that really backed me. I mean, guys with big names, Denver Dan from Speed Merchant, Chopper Dave, Eric Webb, all these dudes were excited that I moved out here. I had met them when I was in New York, and those guys always kind of were digging on me for one reason or another.
But they're all three of those are fucking awesome dudes too, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, these are dudes, these are guys I looked up to, when I was coming up in the game, and also like to become friends with, to be friendly with the guy is one thing, but for have some of these dudes to like actually like look out for me and be behind me for what I was doing. I mean, those dudes all came down from like LA area just to check out the fucking art show down to Oceanside, so it was pretty big for me to see that, it was like, fuck, these dudes are actually like really excited that I moved out here. Like, this is cool. And, funny, we went there, we did that exhibit, and, it was me, Ari, and a friend of ours, Lisa, and everybody after the exhibit was going to a bar. And they're like, oh, we're all going to Larry's. Like, fuck it. So we'll go. I really didn't want any part of it. I was at that point, I was like kind of over everything. I just kind of wanted to go home, well, to the shop.
Yeah.
We walk in the bar, and we're at the door, and I see the bartender. Lisa's like, come on, let's go sit down. We're going to sit down. And I'm like, fuck, I got to go back. I got to get out of here, man. She goes, what? I go, no. She goes, we sit down. Ari gets a couple of beers. She goes, hey, the bartender's checking you out. I go, nah, I'm going home. Going home. Take me back to the shop. This is 100% trouble right here. Got to get out of here. But Ari goes, come on, man, get one more round. So I go to the other side of the bar, to the other bartender. This little bitch runs over, blocks the other bartender, asks me what I need. I said 2 Bud bottles. I throw an Amex card on the bar. She goes, we don't take American Express. So I was like, probably my last 20, throw the 20 on there. You want change? Keep it. Fuck it. Go back to the table, drink, just take me home, get me out of here. And then that was it. She wound up finding me on Instagram, and we started hanging out. And next thing I know, I'm moving into her place. now I live a block off the fucking ocean. I'm going, shit, fucking California's not too bad, man. Your Oceanside
apartment is pretty infamous with us on the East Coast. You know what I mean? So, like, just saying that especially me and Christian, yeah.
Yeah, and not only that, it gets even better. That Oceanside apartment, it's funny you say that, it's infamous. It's an infamous apartment in Oceanside. Like, I have no fucking idea, right? I'm new there. I don't know. I think everything on fucking in California is like hang 10, catch a gnarly wave type shit. I don't fucking know what it's about. I'm in Oceanside now, and I'm going, man, this fucking place is kind of nasty. Like, motherfuckers are fighting in the bars. I mean, people are getting stabbed, and I'm walking, even my dog's I got a 100-pound pit bull. He's looking over his shoulder. We're walking down the street like this. This place kind of bugged out, and there was walking out of bars every once in a while. There'd be a crowd of dudes around the bike, and I'm like, hey guys, look, man, I'm fucking too old for this shit. Don't try to catch me slipping, and it took a while. It took a while. I met the right people, and after I met the right people, it smoothed out, and I wound up starting to, get to know the big dogs in the neighborhood, and that corner was the corner.
Yeah.
That was back in the day. That was the corner. So it was a joke. After I met the big OGs from that area, they were like, "Hey man, we're gonna hand that corner down to you." And I'm like, "Man, I don't want anything to fucking do with this corner." But as time goes on, I had to take ownership of that corner.
So and just to kind of go off, not a tangent, but something you were saying, and I think we didn't say this, but like for us as East Coast guys. Like, it's crazy to us that, like, like your hood in Oceanside is the hood because it's like all I see is palm trees and the fucking beach. I'm like, yeah, we're in a fucking good part of town. You know what I mean? Like the hood in Boston or New York, like especially back in the day. Like right now, everything's kind of changing, but like you knew when you were in the shitty area, you saw the burnt out fucking shells of fucking houses like boarded up and fucking whatever. Like the hood in fucking California, like looks like fucking like awesome area to us. You know what I mean?
It's like it's like I'm living in paradise, you know. It's weird. That's what I was saying. Like I'm out there and I'm going, oh, okay, I live off the beach now. Dudes are fucking, you know. I thought it was funny. I'm trying to go to work at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm going, shit, I'm late. You know, I should be at work. And here comes kids running up the street, fucking with a surfboard, trying to get to school. And I'm going, does anybody fucking work? Does anybody do anything? Like, fuck. What the fuck's going on? You know, and I'm going, okay, well, it's California. Everyone's laid back, cool. Hey, man, I was catching a wave. Like, maybe their teachers don't give a fuck. They were surfing. And then, like I said, then I'm out a couple places, and I'm like, man, these motherfuckers, they're not playing. You know,
these are getting down.
They're legit. These dudes are legit, you know, and I'm going, all right. And, you know, I mean, I've been known to handle myself, but I'm going, I'm the only guy here, man. This is kind of fucked up, you know. And then, like I said, I get, you know, then the ice breaks and I meet some dudes and everyone's like, all right, this dude's legit. He's cool. He's strong. He's got it. And then I fit right in, you know. Then it was, so now I got the motorcycle shop and I know the right dude. So, and we're not the only shop in town. I mean, there's shops everywhere out here, but you know, that actually helped boost me up a little bit too. And, then, you know, now I'm living on the beach. Now I'm really living the dream. I got the beach. I got the palm trees. And, that's when the Born Free thing came. You know, I got a beautiful girl at home. I got everything. And then Born Free comes and then the shop picked up, you know, and then it was like, fuck, okay, now I got to learn how to run a business. Like I didn't think about this in the beginning. I thought it was going to be build one customer, get paid, build the next one. But yeah, now you're getting 3 or 4 bikes and 6 or 7 bikes, and you go, fuck, all right, now I'm trying to do this. Then like we've had this conversation. Now you're trying to hire people.
Yeah.
And anybody out there,
even before you get to the point of hiring people, this is what people don't understand too, is now you got to get fucking legitimate because now you're too above the radar to just be like a dude that's like, you know, like.
I'll get into that.
Oh yeah, but you know what I mean. Like you can't be like under the radar just building bikes. Like I always tell people like I like super get jealous of dudes that like have like a lucrative job or whatever, and they like build on like part-time, and they're, you know, they do something, they work on one customer project at a time, or they build one bike and then they just flip that bike. Like if that's the lane you're in, stay the fuck in that lane, because you do not want to own a motorcycle shop unless you are prepared to make fucking sacrifices like Nick just talked about. You know what I mean? Because it's not an easy road, and I don't care where you are, dude. Like, you know, like that whole wave of like the 2000s with the TV shows, that shit's crashed. So you only do this if you fucking love it or you're fucking retarded. You know what I mean? And I think it takes a little bit of both to fucking keep it going.
I was just gonna say that you got to be pretty fucking stupid and have a passion for it, because this ain't a rich man's game, and it's I mean, it's not gonna make you rich is what I mean. And I mean, I think anybody owning their own business would know that. I mean, you got to sacrifice, you got to put in time, you got to put in hours. Your day is not over. I mean, when I leave here, I go home and I do paperwork, you know, while I'm sitting on the couch. And I've learned from my mistakes and made some really bad decisions. But, you know, once I started getting busy, now it's like shit. Not only, like you said, not only do you got to get legit, but it's like, man, I got to come up with some capital, because I got to keep. I mean, if I'm doing chain drive conversions, why am I going and buying 1 gasket and 1 quart of primary oil? Like, I got to keep a couple cases of primary oil here. I got to keep a couple of fucking packages of Cometic gaskets on the shelf. Sure, you know, so now it's like shit. I already lived a year and a half, 2 years off a credit card. Now I got to dump another fucking $10,000 into this place just so I can make money and not lose time running out every time. You know, Now you need your fucking EIN number. Now you need your this permit and that permit. And now you got to set up your dealer accounts, and this dealer account may be a $2,000 buy-in. So shit, there's another $2,000 I got to drop.
Oh, some are 5,000. Like drag is like 5,000.
Yeah,
you know?
And people
And then
don't see that. People don't know that.
insurances and all this and that. Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
I just right before you called, I just got off the phone with my insurance guy. Like,
yeah,
it was crazy, but you know, again, being grateful, like shit, guys are bringing bikes in here, you know, and I was putting the bikes out there. I'm not saying I'm different than anyone else, but we really strive on putting a bike out there that's not going to come back for the same issue. You know, I want the customer to come back, but I don't want them to come back and say, hey man, you just wired in this taillight. Now I got a short. I want them to come back and say, fuck, you guys put this taillight on. Now I want the headlight. Now I want this wide. Now I want this done. Now I want that done. So I really put my heart and soul into this. And at the time in the beginning was cool because my fiance was still bartending. So my Thursdays, Fridays, Saturday nights, she wasn't home till 2 a.m. So I could kick it here all day, you know, and I could catch up and do what I had to do. And, you know, I didn't have to be home. There was nothing to be home for necessarily. So everything's okay. And then the thing with that is then the shop becomes known as being the place that's open late. Yeah. So here we are 5, 6 o'clock on a Friday, and here's a bunch of dudes showing up with 30 packs and everything else, you know. So the place became a bit of a hangout. But the funny thing is, and you know, like Ari used to make Ari laugh, or even some of the other people laugh. Like we would just keep working. You know, Ari's in his spot doing his welding, fixing something. I'm over here. I'll be talking and working at the same time. So it became a hangout. But you know, it was cool. Everything was good. And I think the next wave that came to me was after I met Shane. when after me and Shane Sheckler became friends, and Shane wanted me to do a bike for him, and we did it, and he posted it up, and I think the place went nuts. I mean, I remember it was again surreal. I remember people coming here and saying they drove 2 or 3 hours to bring their bike to this shop because we built Shane's bike, you know, and Shane, you know, Shane was the perfect, I mean, just first of all, not so nobody gets it twisted. I did not want to do Shane's work because of who Shane was or how many followers he had. Me and Shane hit it off, meeting on not on a bikes, you know, a bike issue at all. We were in a tattoo shop, and both of us liked to party, so that's how we became friends. And then he was like, "Hey, can I bring my bike down there? Can I get some parts?" And that was it. You know, it kind of rolled into a friendship. You know, I consider Shane my little brother. I mean, he's one of the best dudes I've ever met.
Yeah. And not for nothing, the whole time I've known you, I know you could give a fuck less about skateboarding. You know what I mean?
Trust me. I don't give a shit. I remember the MTV show. I think there was a couple times I turned that show and I wanted to choke Ryan to death. now I get to hang out with him at a birthday party. But, you know, he started coming around, and just, you know, that whole Instagram following craze, and people wanted to start coming here. So now, boom, we're getting more and more, and we're getting more and more people down here. The name's getting out there. And it's all great, you know, and everything's good. And then, you know, again, living in Oceanside, a lot of dudes that ride, a couple dudes start joining clubs, and that's kind of when we had a little bit of a dark cloud over our shop for a little while. The local law enforcement wasn't really crazy about us. You know, they wanted to come over and have a look, and a couple of other people higher up than them wanted to have a look, and you know, things became kind of funny for a while. I couldn't get into my bank accounts for certain reasons, and but we stuck through it, you know, and we drove through it. And after that, when that shit couldn't really, nothing stuck to us because we were just fucking working on bikes. We weren't doing stupid shit. We weren't doing anything illegal, you know. I mean, we were just fucking doing our thing. And again, it's funny because like me and Ari are such opposites. You know, people never knew how that was going to work. Where we're opposites at sight. You know, he's quiet. He's held back a little bit. He does his thing, and that's it. And I'm, you know, New York, loud, obnoxious. You know, which way it was, could be funny, could be anger, whatever it is. But when you break it down, we're the same guy. You know, we're the same person. We're just loyal, respectful, honest dudes. So we would have to have these meetings where I'm like, hey, dude, like, this is his livelihood too. Fuck, man, I think I'm bringing too much heat here. Like, are you good with it? And I remember he told me one day, I said, look, man, everybody left. It was a late night. We were sitting here having a couple of beers, and I go, hey, are you cool with everything? I'll never forget it. I said, are you cool with everything? Because, you know, I know a lot of these dudes that are coming here, the bikes that I'm working on, you know, he's not bringing this type of crowd in there.
Sure, yeah.
And he goes,
it's not necessarily the rigid chopper crowd that are coming for,
right.
for
no,
that.
no.
Yeah.
The rigid chopper crowd was usually afraid to come in here.
Yeah.
So, he looked at me one day and he goes, hey, man, we own a bike shop. And I go, yeah. And he goes, this is what I think a fucking bike shop is. This is a get down fucking shop. And I went, okay, we're cool then. We got nothing to worry about. I'll handle this. You know, I fuck, you want to put me in front of a board of people? I'll dance circles around them verbally.
Yeah.
So yeah, the local sheriff kind of left us alone after a while, but they went to the city, and the city came in, and that's like when you were saying before, you got to get legit. And,
absolutely, yeah.
And I tried to roll under the radar as long as I can, and when the city stepped in, because we were already kind of hot, it was a little bit more than probably I would have had to do in the beginning. But after like 3.5 months of permits and safety inspections and fucking licensing and all this shit, but even the city, I came out on top there, so we're permitted for the next fucking 12 years, so they can't do shit either. And again, it's not because of anything other than we're just running a fucking bike shop. I mean, we're not doing anything fucking retarded. We're just doing our thing, you know?
Yeah.
And so we had that little bit, which to me, this is all growing pains. I mean, probably not that everyone has the same growing pains, but you know, I had to learn, and I had to learn fast. And it was like, shit, I look now and say, fuck, if I could survive that shit, I could throw anything at you. I mean, this business was almost under probably 3 times, you know, between having a shitty spun out, fucking tweaked out mechanic who cost me a fortune, or the city coming in and hammering us for shit. And, you know, that costing money, but you know, money can always be made. You just got to put your fucking nose to the grinder and get it done. So we did that. We pulled out of it. And I think, right now, I think we're busier than we ever were. I mean, busy enough to a point where I had to bring on a partner. I had to bring somebody in to take some of this work and this load off and this stress off. And it's awesome. I mean, again, running a business, I think I hear a lot of people. You probably do too. I get a couple of young cats in here every once in a while. I go, man, I want to start my own business. And it's cool. I think it's great. And I've told people who work for me, if you could go open up your own shop and be successful, that would be a great thing for me to see, that I was able to teach somebody to go and do this. And I've had guys who work for me who come back and go, fuck, I don't know how the fuck you do this, you know? And like I said, this shop isn't as typical, you know, we don't have a showroom. It's just a big open building. I mean, we just now, I'm in business out here almost 8 years. We just now got an office. I mean, I'm sitting in it now. We just finished an office like a week ago, and it's still not perfect, but I mean, there's craziness that goes on in here, and there could be, like I said, there were nights where fucking maniacs hanging out here for hours and drinking and fucking everything else, and I'm still working and answering the phone. And these guys will go, man, you're right. This ain't fucking easy, and that's just the shop. Yeah. I mean, you could probably have a 7-hour interview with my fiance on how she fucking wants to kill me half the time because either I'm late for dinner or don't show up at all, or how many times I was here for 2 days in a row, or, you know, working hours from 8 a.m. to 4 a.m. I mean, just people don't get it. It takes a lot. It's a lot of fucking work to do this. You know, it's hard. And to run any business, not just motorcycles, to run any business. You know, it's and to be the front man. I mean, you there are people, I'm sure you agree, there are people that walk out of your shop and you want to do nothing more than choke the shit
fucking
out of that.
4 times a day, at least, minimum.
It'll be funny. I'll be sitting here, some guy walk out, be like, this motherfucker this guy comes back in here, I'm gonna break his fucking head open. And he comes back in, you're like, hey, what's up, dude? What's going on? And my buddy Sam, who works for me, he'll be like, hey, what happened? And I'm like, dude, we beat up all the customers. We're not gonna have no fucking customers. You gotta bite your tongue every once in a while. But
and you know what you got to do? You know what helped me with that is just trying to see things from their perspective. Sometimes they just don't know. I just hate it when a grown ass man doesn't know how to fucking act. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you know what I mean? Like you're older than me, dude, and you don't know how to fucking act right. You know what I mean?
Right.
By act right, I mean like in a respectable, honorable, like fucking straight up fucking way. I don't mean like, I mean, we go to shows and get fucking idiotic. Like, you know what I mean? I don't mean like, but I'm never disrespectful to anybody or like don't know how to fucking talk to somebody. You know what I mean?
And again, I get guys who come in here and be like, hey man, I'm sorry, I really don't know how to do this, or I don't know how to maintain. I don't care if you know how to work on a motorcycle, man. That's not what I'm talking about either. You could come in and have everything wrong or not know what to call something or have a question. That's fine with me. Fuck. I wish I had more customers that didn't work on their bikes because that keeps me in business. That keeps me in business.
Or if you got to fix the bike, it makes it a lot easier because they didn't already fuck around in there and screw something up worse than it would have been.
Right. It's like you said. It's the guys that come in with this crazy, disrespectful, shitty attitude, and I think unfortunately in this industry, the whole quote unquote biker mentality, like someone gets on a Harley and now they're a club guy, or they're a fucking badass, or they're a fucking gangster, and they're a thug, and that's all good. If that's how you want to do it, that's how you want to do it. But like honestly, I just made a joke about it on Instagram when I put a picture of the office up. I put a hashtag and says, semi-professional, but we'll still get down in the parking lot.
Absolutely, man.
There have been a couple of guys who have come in here who've gotten a little bit on that other end, and hey, you go outside and you got to catch one every once in a while. It's just the way it is. But we run a tight shop. That's the shit. It's the way it is, and I feel blessed. I mean, fuck, I get to come and do what I love to do every day and turn on my own lights.
Yeah.
I'm not walking into a fucking office grumpy again, like, fuck, I got to listen to fucking Carol in the fucking coffee room tell me about a son who just put a mortgage down on a fucking house in Jersey. Like, I give a fuck.
Choking on a fucking donut. Yeah.
Yeah. I said, I could come in here at 9:00, turn my own lights on, sit down in my own chair for a minute, do some bullshit, and then fuck, somebody said it. I can't mention any names. I don't want to get in too much trouble, but somebody said to another person who cares about me, hey, when is he going to grow up and stop playing with motorcycles and get a real job? and I laughed, and I turned to her husband and I said, how much money did you make last year? And he looked at me and I said, you don't have to answer that. And I gave out what the company made. And I looked at him and I said, almost double. And he didn't say nothing again. And I looked at his wife and I said, not bad for someone playing with motorcycles all day. I mean, you can make a good living.
Sure. Yeah.
And I feel like I'm playing all day. I get to test ride every fucking bike that leaves here. So you want to throw that $5,000 fucking inverted Olin's front end on your bike? That's awesome. Yeah. I get to ride that and feel it. And, I get to experience it just like the customer does it. Yeah. It's a dream come true to do this shit.
Yeah.
But, it ain't, it ain't easy. It ain't easy. No. I mean, it just ain't. And, everything about it. I live out here. We all joke. You guys always calling me Cali Nick and saying I'm smiling now and this and that.
No, because here's the thing, man, and I'm going to explain this a little bit. Like when you used to come with us to the smoke out and shit, right? Like, you were way more fucking reserved. You were way more quiet. You and Jim would like be off, kind of like the two judges at the Muppet Show, like judging us. You know what I mean? Not really, but while we would be retards, like drunk retards, barely able to talk or walk or whatever, and you guys would be like kind of like whatever. And then there was that one road trip where we were at Trent's house.
Yep.
And there was something introduced into lives. And then, like, all of a sudden, dude, I was like, I'm so tired. And then, but like, I was so amazed because you didn't stop talking for like 4 hours. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Because me and you could sit in a room for 4 hours and not say a word and be fine. And because we got it. We were cool. It was like, whatever, man. Like, and we didn't take shit personal. It was like, that's just how we are, whatever. But then I was like, and then you moved to California and you just kicked it up from there. And I was like, all right, dude, what the fuck's going on with California Nick? Like, why wasn't he California Nick when we were fucking wilding out at the smokeouts and getting kicked out of hotels and getting kicked out of the venue and all this? I was like, I just wanted to be around fucking California Nick. That's all.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I'll tell you what, and I guess we'll get into that too. But yeah, I mean, living out here is,
loosened you up.
Me, like it did, and there's something to be said about sunshine, because it's funny.
Yeah, because you don't have a vitamin D deficiency now,
No, yeah, it's so rarely. Do you wake up on a gloomy day? Like, they have what they call the June gloom out here. So like through all, like, just the month of June and a little bit of July and whatnot, it's cloudy in the morning. Like, you got that overcast on the ocean.
Poor California.
Right? Well, yeah. See, those days, and those are the days I wake up and I'm kind of blah when I get up. Kind of like, fuck,
Yeah.
So I'm so used to the sun. But yeah, the sun has something to do with it, and just also I'm doing what I love to do every day. So
sure, yeah.
As stressful as it gets and as crazy as it gets, sometimes it's still better than fucking doing insurance.
Fuck yeah, man.
It's still, I love doing it, and I could ride every day. I mean, I haven't rode in like a year, but I mean, I could ride every day. I could, and I mean, I live on the ocean, and then it's just fucking badass cars and bikes all day out here. You're on the East Coast. It might be that Friday night parking lot meet, or maybe Saturday a little cruise or something. Fuck, I sit on my steps any day, and there's like 15 lowriders that pass me.
Sure,
there's fucking hot rods coming up off the Strand, off the ocean. I mean, it's every day. It's just cool, and also I got I have a crew of people out here. I mean, my West Coast family, which is just astronomical. I mean, we're fucking great fucking people I met out here. I mean, people who, without a doubt, at the drop of a hat, if I need anything, I mean, boom, they're there. And it's funny. I mean, I'm around some badass dudes,
sure.
some fucking dudes, and these dudes have the biggest fucking heart. Like, it's amazing. When I got sick, I mean, shit, I can't tell you how many people were, going and grabbing this, taking care of that, doing this. I mean, Ari's taking care of the shop, taking care of sales that I had. He fucking drove a frame. I can't tell you. I don't even know how far he drove to sell this frame to make sure I had money in the bank when and the rent was paid when I got out of the hospital. And fucking guys going and getting my truck that was stuck at the gym and grabbing my fiance and making her eat and throwing her on the couch with a blanket and saying, "Sleep, you haven't slept." It just coming out of the woodwork, in the hospital, visiting me, everything, just solid fucking dudes. And not that I ever doubted it, but that's when you really see it.
Sure.
When you're down and out, it's easy to say, anything, but when you're down and out and everybody kind of pulls together and is like, "Hey man, we got this, don't worry about it." I mean, fuck, my buddy Sam, who is now a partner with me, I mean, that dude showed up at my house the day I got out of the hospital, sat with me every fucking day. And then for the next 2 weeks, drove me back and forth to the shop or wherever I had to go. If you don't have the energy to get out of the car, I'll go do it. You want to sit at the shop and we were only here for an hour and a half. I didn't feel good. Fuck, right back in his truck, take me home. I mean, and we're talking about a 26-year-old kid. I mean, find a 26-year-old kid who's going to do something like that. It's very rare you're going to find somebody with that type of mentality at that age. Man. But these dudes were behind it. I mean, it was. I laugh a little bit about it, but like getting phone calls like, "Man, you scared the shit out of us. Are you okay? I thought you were going to die." And you go like, "Dude, how'd I scare you, you fucking lunatic?
Yeah.
How could I possibly scare you? But we need you around, man. You calm down. You lay in the house. You need anything, you call me. We can't have you going. We need you here, So it's great. We're having all that as a foundation makes everything so much easier. And I think that's what a lot of, drags a lot of goodness out of me, is because I'm doing what I love. I'm in a great area. I have good people around me. And I have, not only that, I mean, fuck, my arms reach across the fucking country. I still have all you dudes back east. If I come out fucking east,
fuck yeah, man.
Bang, I'm taken care of. And if I need something out there, boo, it's done. I mean, shit, I had to order parts that we can't get here. I had to call you today. Just here. Bang,
hey,
order that.
Don't put that on blast, man. You don't know who's listening.
Oh, I know. Shit, I put a picture of an exhaust pipe on Instagram the other day, and I got a fucking fake text message asking me if they could come here and I could order an illegal exhaust from out of state.
I know, dude.
It's sketchy. California's so crazy with
I'm
that
so
shit.
ready to fill up my Sprinter van full of fucking exhausts and fucking and carb kits and tuners and shit, and just drive around shop to shop in California, man.
Shit,
like the ice cream man. Yeah, I know. Fucking
yeah, you can retire.
Fucking.
But
nuts.
yeah, no, it's great. It's great doing it all, man. It's awesome,
Yeah, man.
It's still kind of surreal, but it's great.
And I think that's some of the best things about our motorcycle world, outside of the motorcycles themselves, is that sense of like camaraderie you got, and like real dudes behind you and with you. You know what I mean? And anywhere, like we can go pretty much anywhere in the country, man. Like, and we know people that are solid, that'll put you up, that'll fucking say, hey, I got an extra bike, let's go for a clip, whatever. And
shit, it's been proven. You even know too. We could go outside the country.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
I've been flown to Germany and taken care of, Japan taken care of. Dudes that know us. I mean, fuck, we've been invited to go to Sweden. Unfortunately, I can't get the time off of work as much as I'd like, but we could go anywhere. We can really go anywhere. Yeah.
And that's the downfall of owning the shop. I'm like, you got to pick and choose your battles wisely on where to go, man, because it's tough, man, especially like for me, like we have like the brick and mortar, like we have like the showroom in the parts counter.
Yeah.
So if I'm closed a bunch, it looks bad. It's a bad look. People are like,
Yeah.
Every now and then I'll close down for a day and I'll put a sign on the door and say, hey, we're at a bike show. Fucking here's the flyer. Yep. You can go to it too. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever, you know, but, it's a lot tougher. Like I miss the days of when we were like more of just a fabrication shop or just building bikes and it didn't matter as much, but the game changed, man. Like, and you had to adapt and get stay in it, and so it is a thing that, it's fluid, but there's just checks and balances with everything, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You weigh a lot of shit out, and that stuff can weigh on you, man. And there's so many stresses all day. Like and that's what I don't think. Like there's a lot of businesses. I will venture out to say, I'm sure there's a lot of shit that's a lot worse, but there's a lot of businesses that are a lot easier to manage than a bike shop. There's so many fucking moving parts. Like you got to get this.
I think so.
You got to order parts. You got to do this. You got to make sure this, and you got to do that. And you're dealing with this guy, and you're dealing with this guy, and you're dealing with a supplier, and you're dealing with a customer, and you're dealing with this. And there's a lot of different shit. There's so much weird. There's so many. And every bike, it comes in for two things, and then you find like three more things that you got to do to fix those two things that it came in for, and it's just like, and then while you're waiting for those parts, you're trying to get on something else. There's just a lot of juggling, man.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you're putting somebody on two wheels.
Yeah.
Another shop here owner, Bob Moreland. I mean, fastest Harley Davidson in the world.
Yeah.
236 mile an hour speed trial bike.
Legendary motor builder, man.
Yeah. He told me, he says, I tell my guys every morning, let's try not to kill somebody.
Oh, yeah.
That you're putting someone on the most vulnerable fucking situation, and the maniacs that come in and out of the shop, I mean, these dudes are taking these bikes and doing shit that they should not fucking do. My bike gets a wobble at 130. Yeah, it's a fucking Harley, dude. It's a piece of shit. It's not supposed to do. I told one customer one day, I said, hey, I could solve all your problems. He goes, what do you mean? I go, your handling issues, brakes, everything. $2,800. He goes, you fucking kidding me? I go, no. He goes, how? What are we going to do? I said, go buy a used GSXR 750. You won't have a wobble. The thing will stop on a dime. You could do 200 miles an hour. They'll never have any issues again. He goes, oh, I want to do that on my Harley. I go, yeah, it ain't fucking happening. This piece of shit. You know, and that was one of the things when I started getting into these newer bikes and doing this stuff. I had told Ari one day, I was sitting here and I go, you know what's badass? I mean, my panhead is my panhead. It's cool. It's going to always be cool. That thing will never not be cool. It'll always be in style, but it's always just going to be that panhead. I can take a Dyna and upgrade it and build its performance and put different brakes on it and put, different suspension parts in it and put upgraded motor parts in it. And I can make a bike that really came in here that was kind of blah, blah, that's now handling and stopping and accelerating much better than it was out of the factory.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, that's why I said, when I started doing these new bikes, I go, fuck, I got to buy some because I could be this best suspension guy in the world. Some dude pulls up to my shop and says, hey man, how's my bike going to ride better? And I said, oh, you need these shocks, you need this front end. And he looks at my rigid panhead that, leaking fork oil for 15 years and goes, fuck am I going to listen to this guy for? Look what the fuck he's riding,
Yeah.
And, it's great. And that panhead, that's the one you were talking about earlier. That panhead was kind of legendary in itself. I got a phone call from my fiance one day and she goes, oh, this guy came in the bar. His friend's selling a bike. He knows you're into bikes. He wants you wanted to know if you'd be interested. She goes, he said it's a panhead and he wants $2,000 for it. And I went, get the fuck out of here. And she's like, no. So, all right, I'll give the guy a call. I don't want to piss anybody off. So I call the dude. He calls me back. Christian was out here with me. And I go, so what's the deal? He goes, yeah, my buddy's got this bike. He wants to get rid of it. And he goes, you said it's a panhead. He goes, I'm not really a bike guy. So I go, fuck, I got to go look at this Ironhead chopper. It's going to be some piece of shit Sportster. So I go, what's he want for it? He goes, man, he's asking 23. He goes, and this dude came and was going to meet him for the 23, but he couldn't come up with the money. And I said to myself, I go, 23,000. I said, now we're talking panhead. Okay. So it's a panhead. And the guy goes to me and goes, but who doesn't have $2,300? And I went, you have a picture of this bike by chance? And he sends me a picture and I go, fuck, it's a panhead. And not only is it a panhead, it's 2 blocks down from my house. I walk my dog past it every day. So I don't want to sound too eager. I'm like, hey, can I come look at that thing? Like, when can I come? And the guy's like, oh, let me call my buddy back and see. He's hardly ever around. And I'm going, fuck, I'm going to lose this, So like 3 days later, the dude calls me. Hey, you want to meet me at my house and we'll go look at that bike? I said, okay. So we go. I got $1,500 in my pocket. It was my 2 months rent. I had no more money. I said, fuck, if anything, I'll snap this thing up and I'll flip it, And we roll over to this dude's house and there's the bike. It's the one that I passed by. I knew something was under that cover and it had no seat. The fucking gas tanks were opened up and rotted out. But it rolled and it had compression. And I walked over there and I looked at the guy and I got $1,500 cash. And he looked at me and he turned around and he walked right in his house. And I was like, shit, all right, well, fuck that. I embarrassed myself. I turn around and he comes back out and he goes, where are you going? I turn around and he's got a bottle of Jack Daniels and 3 shot glasses. He goes, it's yours. Fuck. So I'm like, all right. Meanwhile, me and Ari are swamped at the shop trying to build that uninvited Born Free bike. So he's pissed that I left the shop, and we throw it in the back of the pickup truck and I pull up here in front of the shop and I saw Ari look out of the door and I saw like half a smile on his face and he came and looked at it. I mean, here we got a 1954 panhead, original frame, motor, tranny, wheels, fucking front end. It had like some 5-gallon tanks on it, but I mean, this thing, it was all there, and I just paid $1,500 for it.
The frame is worth fucking $3-4 grand.
Yeah. I mean, the frame's untouched. It still has the fucking little horn blocks on it. Only the toolbox mount was cut off of it, but who the fuck cares? Still got the sidecar loops. I put it up, and that's not even the best of it. I put it up on the lift. and I was going to pull the motor out and put it in my 51 because I blew the motor in my 51. And Ari's like, dude, just get the fucking thing running. It had a broken kicker arm. It had a one-piece kicker that was broken. I pull the fucking kicker cover off, and I go, shit. I call him over. I go, dude, look at this thing. Inside the transmission, spotless clean. I put a scope down the cylinders. There's still cross-hatching on the cylinders. I go, man, somebody was in this motor. Someone rebuilt this. The tires were dated from 1997. The guy had told me it hadn't started since 1990. The last time they started was 97, and that someone had rebuilt the motor, kicked it over, broke the kicker, and that was it. We put a kicker arm on it. I kicked it 5 times. That fucking thing fired up, and I rode that for the next 3.5 years every day. True jockey lid shift. I put gas tanks on it, rode it to Born Free, and that's when everybody was talking about they wanted hits on that $1,500 panhead. Guys say, "Oh, I'll give you $2,000 for it right now, make you $500." Like, get the fuck out of here,
Yeah.
And I still sits right here. It sits under my truck in the shop. Every once in a while I look at it and I go, I got to fix this thing or get it running. And I know Sam's looking at it, and Sam's like, dude, let's get this thing running. I want to ride it down. And so one of these days we got to pull back out. I just got to change the points in the condenser and fire it back up. But yeah, that was that bike along with the Born Free shit kind of helped spin this shop into the whirlwind of lunacy that it is today.
Yeah, man.
But it was great. Yeah, it was great.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And then,
sorry, go ahead.
Yep.
No.
Oh no, no, go ahead.
Oh no, I don't even know what it was. Fuck it.
Oh, I was gonna say, you said before about the stress and the craziness. I mean, yeah, that all paid off to me last year. Like I said earlier, when I got sick, that was it was August 31st. August 31st last year, I had a massive heart attack. Massive. Didn't go to the doctor because I didn't think it was a heart attack. I knew it was a heart attack, but didn't want to. So didn't go to the doctor, took some aspirin, drank a Red Bull, had a cheeseburger, figured if I'm going to go, I'm going to go. Had another one a couple of days later, went to the doctor and that one was misdiagnosed. And even to touch on, just how you get that, how I feel and how much better I am. A month after my heart attack, it was October 8th. I was training arms in the gym. I had gotten back into bodybuilding a little bit. I competed years ago and had stopped, and the shop took a lot out of me. So I had just gotten back. I was growing again. I was like, fuck yeah, man. In my mid 40s, like, fuck, these kids can't keep up with me, right? I'm 275 pounds, gassed up, ready to go. Have these 2 heart issues that I didn't really know were heart issues. Go to the gym in October. I'm training right at the end of the workout. I'm training with my friend Devin. I go, hey, you good? He goes, yeah, man, I'm done. I'm shot. I go, me too. And I put the dumbbells down on the rack. And I go, man, I'm real short of breath. And I stood up, and the world started to spin real quick. And I looked at him, and I go, hey, man, I'm a little dizzy. I got to sit down. And I walked right over to the couch and sat down, and it's all she wrote. Dropped dead right there on the couch. He noticed something was up. He checked my pulse. Pulse was gone. There was another woman there who just thought everything looked weird and didn't even ask a question. Thank God, just dialed 911. The gym owner, Lou Uradell, I mean, he's been on the news all over the place. He's the gym owner in California that got arrested for opening his gym. He ran over another member. They threw me on the floor. Nothing was going on. I was out. He grabbed my pole. He grabbed my wrist, checked my pulse. I was dead. He just got so frustrated, and he said, he looked at me and he said, you're not going to fucking die in my gym, Nick. And he punched me in the chest. And he punched me in the chest and must have fired me back up. I started spitting shit up. EMS shows up, throws me in the ambulance, rushes me to the hospital. I get to the ER. I flatline again in the ER. Nobody knows what's going on. I come back to, and the doctor says, we did an emergency CAT scan, and your pericardium, which is the sac that holds your heart, has filled up with fluid, possibly blood. We got to drain it. And I said, okay, do you guys do, what is this, surgery? And he goes, just hold on. And it was the scene from Pulp Fiction, man. No bullshit. Dude pulled out a fucking needle I've never seen before and stuck that motherfucker through my chest and had a hose hooked to it and started draining the blood off of my heart. My blood pressure, which had dropped to 78 or 76 over 18, had started to come back up. my heart rate was at 172, I think. That started to drop, and they thought I tore my aorta. And I'll never forget, I'm laying there in the ER, and again, everybody fucking shows up. The doctor walked into ER, and he turned to the side, and he was going to say something, and he just saw a crowd of fucking dudes sitting there. My fiance sitting there, Ari's there, my buddy Chris Harper's there. All these motherfuckers there. This one dude, Sam, another guy, Sam, that I know, who was the center for the Denver Broncos. He's standing there. I think the doctor wasn't going to say shit to this behemoth, you know. Couple dudes from the gym. Everyone's in there. We got the whole fucking side of the ER full of people. People just walked past security, like, fuck this, we're going to see. And this doctor walked in the room, and he goes, I go, what's going on, man? What is it? I'm in an enormous amount of pain. I can't breathe. He goes, Nick, I don't know. He goes, I go, did I have a heart attack? He goes, we don't know what happened. He goes, the only thing I could say is you tore your heart open. And I went, what? And he goes, yeah, I know. He goes, it sounds fucked up. He goes, you'd be dead, though, if you did that. And I went, yeah, I think so. And he walked out of the room, and he came back about 15 minutes later, and he goes, you tore a hole in your heart. And I said, what? And he goes, yeah, man, there's a big hole in your heart, and you're bleeding. And I go, what do we do? And he goes, I don't know. Fuck.
Worst response from a doctor ever.
Right? From a fucking cardiologist. Yeah. You have a hole in your heart. We don't know how we're going to fix it. And I'm like, fuck. So I'm sitting there. First thing I'm thinking is, I don't got insurance. This is going to be a $2 million bill, you know? They put me up in the ICU. Luckily for Dilaudid and Ativan, I was able to calm myself down a little bit, you know, kept myself high and looped up the whole time I was in there. But I got an emergency insurance, and they put the fucking tube in my heart, and they were draining it, and 3 days later they walk in there and they go, this thing's not draining anymore. Bag's empty. You're not draining. There's no blood draining out. And I said, okay. And the guy goes, we're going to remove the tube. And I said, all right. And they pull the tube out, and then they sent me in for an angiogram, and the doctor comes out, and she goes, okay. She goes, you had two massive heart attacks probably about 3 to 4 weeks ago. And I said, that makes sense. That's when I had the chest pain. And she goes, these were massive. And I said, yeah, the first one hurt really bad, you know? And she goes, no, like you should be dead. And I go, all right, well, I'm not. So how are we going to fix this? And then, you know, because of our beautiful healthcare system, the stents that I was supposed to have in December, I just recently had about 2 weeks ago. They're on top of it. This fucking medical.
Well, because was it
society.
Was it because of that, or was it because of the COVID shit, or what?
Well, first it was just the typical bullshit of go see this doctor, go see that doctor, wait for this, wait for that, and then
they'll do one more test and blah blah blah. All the cover their ass shit.
Right, and I finally got into, you know, again, lucky I did do that malpractice work that I did for 15 years, because at least I have some sort of idea of what the fuck's going on. I got into a good hospital here, UCSD, which is a teaching school that has a great cardiology department. And we just scheduled open heart surgery. He said, we're going to go in there. What happened was I had an aneurysm from the first heart attack, caused so much damage to my heart that it caused an aneurysm, which burst in my left ventricle. That's what caused me to bleed out. They still to this day have no idea how it healed on its own. They still to this day don't understand why I'm still alive. But he said, okay, we're going to plan open heart surgery. We're going to go in, we're going to do a double bypass. We're going to do this aneurysm repair. And I remember coming home going like, this is crazy, man. Double bypass. I'm going to have open heart surgery. I mean, this is a 6-month recovery. They're going to cut my fucking chest open. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know, this ain't right, man. This ain't normal. And fuck, that was in March. COVID hit like the week later. The doctor's office stops answering the fucking phone. So I'm like, you got to be shitting me. Now I don't know what to do. You know, now I'm like, shit, I got COVID happening. I got fucking the shop. Is it going to get busy? Is it going to drop off? Is everybody going to die from a fucking virus? There's, you know, quarantines and fucking people wearing masks and all sorts of fucking wild shit going on. And I'm going, but I still have to have surgery.
Yeah.
And, so that all that shit went on, and there were times it would get kind of crazy where I was like, fuck this, I'm not doing anything, I'm going back to living how I lived, and I don't give a fuck. If I die, I die. And you're like, you know, it was out of anger and probably
just
out of
frustrated,
fear too.
just in frustration and fear.
Frustration. Yeah. And my buddy Sam, he tells me at one point, in June, he's like, hey, man, fuck this. You're taking a trip with us. We all got to go to New York, 4 of us. He's like, you're going to come with us. There's going to be a big party out there. And I'm like, dude, you're taking me out of one stressful situation and putting me into another stressful situation. But exactly what he had thought would happen happened. And I'm grateful for him for doing it. I got to sit down in another, just in another place, away from the shop,
get out of
away
Dodge.
from everything. Yeah. And I had a period of time where I could just sit there and think. And I was like, you know what, man, when I get back, I got to call the doctor. I was out of medication for a month and a half at that point. So I was like, I don't know, let me see what happens. So I got back from New York and made the phone call, got a doctor's appointment. And even then they're going, well, we're doing the afternoon is a video. And I go, no, I need a fucking one-on-one. I need to sit in the same room with this dude. I don't care who's got what disease. So they're like, okay, 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Boom. I'm in the doctor's office. He goes, okay, you ready for surgery? I said, nah, let's do stents. Let's see what happens. They, again, call me back. When do you want to do the stents? When's the next available? July 9th. I'm like, oh, it's a week and a half away. Cool. Yeah, let's do it. Bang. Go in there, get the stents, and fuck. I'm like a new fucking man. And again, you get that I'm on borrowed time. I got, they always say you only live once. I'm already on the third chance. So I'm like, fuck, and I feel fucking fantastic. Like, blood in your heart is important.
Yeah.
It really makes a difference when it's flowing through your body at the right pace. It makes a difference. I feel great. I feel amazing. Back in the gym, I recovered. My recovery was 24 hours. I was in there on Thursday. I was back at work on Saturday. I mean, just fucking awesome. And a whole nother outlook on shit, which is, and that's helping us here in this shop too. It's like, that's when we were like, fuck, we need to get the office set up. We need to get a desk in here. We got to get somewhat professional and on top of shit. And believe it or not, again, it's just bike after bike after bike after bike. They keep pulling up. And man, it's been a wild fucking ride up and down like crazy, but it's been great, man. It's been a good time. It's been a really good time doing this shit.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah, dude.
Enjoy every minute of it now, without a doubt.
So when you flatline, let me ask you a weird question. Did anything happen when you were, technically dead? You remember anything?
It's funny. I remember everything leading up to it clear as day. I remember saying I got to go sit on the couch. I don't remember sitting down. So I go by what Devin had told me, what my buddy had told me. He said I sat down, I laid my head back on the couch. He said he had walked over and said, hey, you're sweating, you want your water? And he bonked me on the top of the head with my bottle of water. And when he looked at me, he said my eyes were rolled back and my mouth was just kind of like foaming. So the next thing I remember was when I was starting to come to. It was fucking weird because there's no light. I didn't see no light. It was blacker than a motherfucker. But that maybe that's because I'm going to where I go. I don't know. But it was dark as fuck. And I remember hearing, like, you start hearing muffled voices, like you're kind of waking up, you're kind of coming to. And I thought I was saying it out loud, but no one said they all said I didn't say anything. I was just going, hey, man, just give me 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes. It was the most comfortable fucking sleep I was ever in. It felt so good. Like I was sleeping on the cloud. Just 10 more minutes, man. 10 more, 15 more minutes. I'll feel great when I get up. And as I started opening my eyes and realized I was on some like dirty rug in the middle of the gym with like 5, 6, 7 people standing around me, I was like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? And I don't, I didn't know at that time. I'm going, who knows what happened, and I remember them trying to sit me up and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't stand up. It's weird how I just had probably one of the strongest workouts of my life. And right now I could hardly pick up my arm. I'm in an enormous amount of pain. I can't breathe. I can't stand up. They're rolling me onto the fucking, the gurney, get me in the ambulance. And, even then, even after all that, and even when they told me in the ER that I went out and I don't remember anything, it's like you just kind of remember coming back too, like almost like getting knocked out. You remember a couple of minutes before and a couple of minutes after. And I was listening to a podcast one morning after all this, this dude CT Fletcher. This guy, he's out in Compton.
Yep.
People probably have known of him. Yeah, but, old strict curl champion, and
he went through the similar shit, right?
He had a heart transplant. He had multiple heart attacks, had multiple stents, and then eventually a heart transplant. And he was doing a podcast with Joe Rogan, and he said he had told Joe Rogan he had flatlined 5 times, and Joe asked him a similar question, and he said, "Man, everything just goes black, and it's like you're having the best sleep of your life." So he, I'm basing it off of that. We were in that same situation, and probably about, I think it was like a week or two after I listened to that podcast, LA Fit Expo was going on before all this COVID shit hit, and they had an event at his gym, and I went up there and I got to meet him, and he outstanding fucking dude, just fucking nicest dude. Like, took time to ask me about what the problem was, and was really fucking positive about everything. He's like, "Nah, man, you go take care of it. You got your second chance. You're gonna do this." And again, one of the things I thought of when I was sitting there was like, that dude took this time out for me. If I give up and just say fuck this shit, it's not right. He took time out to talk to me. So I was like, I owe it to a bunch of people, including myself. I ain't ready to go. I got a ton of shit I still got to do. So
you got a shop full of bikes. You can't leave that shit there.
My customers would be pissed.
Fuck.
My customers would be pissed. Sam would be pissed because he wouldn't get paid at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Right? You'd be pissed if I died, right?
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. Fucking Ari would have to come up with rent on his own.
He said he'd come right down to hell and look for me.
I gotta do a podcast with Ari, but I feel like we both have to be on shrooms when we do it.
Oh, if you do, we spoke about this earlier. If you do a podcast with Ari, I guarantee you there will be a 45-minute just him thinking about what he's going to say. It'll be a blank 45 minutes of him going, yeah, I mean, dude, why'd you call me on the hottest day of the year? It's like fucking hot here, and hold on a minute, let me get to. It'll be the greatest podcast, the most uninteresting, interesting podcast I think that ever happened.
I'm waiting on that one till I'm out there, and I'll bring my shit with me. We'll just set up in the middle of. Maybe we should just do one, just set up in the middle of like the fucking chaos over there, and then just
you should,
and just have Ari just try and talk about shit. Ari, and maybe we'll bring your brother in on the phone. Ari and your brother at once.
Ari, as he's trying to, you got to interview him while he's still trying to work.
Yeah,
flip up his welding helmet to talk to you every once in a while.
I'll get like one of those like the mics like the newscasters have, like, and I'll just keep putting it in his face while he's trying to work. And then we'll have your brother on the phone, or your brother there.
Calling in.
And I'll have him interview Ari, and it'll just be the most non sequitur fucking nonsense on both sides. And then,
that would be the greatest fucking intro. It's funny because when I went out to New York a couple of months ago, I had hit my brother up, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm in there." We were in the Bronx, and he's like, "Hey, I could shoot over there in a minute, you know." And you know my brother, he's not into this world whatsoever. He's doing his own thing, and that's it, And here we are, with a group of dudes you could imagine.
Yeah.
And he shows up, and I go, "Hey man, can my brother hang out for a minute?" Yeah, no problem. My brother comes. Now here comes Sam out of the house. Oh, he wants, all these guys want to meet my brother. These are all the dudes I know in California. I want them to meet him. I want him to meet them. And he was overwhelmed. He'll deny it, but he was overwhelmed with everything that was going on. And Sam just fucking laughing and at that point it was Sunday. I still hadn't slept, so I'm on day 4, like still awake. It was it was wild.
Did he have like a Mexican wrestling mask on or anything?
No. He came straight as can be. Just he didn't want to ruffle any feathers he didn't know about.
Oh, yeah.
As crazy as he is as smart as he is. He knew where he was going. He's like, let me just show up, be cool, and he popped a couple of jokes. Everybody kind of laughed for a little bit, and he knew when his time was to leave.
Yeah. Dude, nothing was funnier was when Jim P bought like the fucking. Remember he bought that video
Gauntlet.
game. Gauntlet, the 4-person fucking video game that weighs 4,000 pounds. He bought it off that dude in New York, and we go to pick it up, and fucking your brother's wearing that mask.
Not talking.
Not talking, and the dude's like so shook. I just remember that elevator ride. I'm like, this dude thinks he's gonna get fucking killed right now.
Yeah, that was good. I still have that picture somewhere. Jim and you loading it into the truck, and my brother just leaning on the side of the Ford Ranger, just looking over the side with the Lucha Libre mask on.
Yeah, fucking great.
That was legit.
You weren't there, were you?
No. You guys, you picked him up in Manhattan.
Yeah.
You picked him up in Manhattan, and then went to Brooklyn with him.
That's right.
Yeah, I wasn't there. It was just you three, and he had to sit in the back of the pickup because that little Ford Ranger.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he had to sit in the back of the pickup.
Yeah, with a with a gauntlet video game. Gauntlet was like
and a wrestling mask on.
The first fucking 4-person video game there was. The actual arcade one for anyone who's listening. This was the one that was physically in arcades. Yeah.
And it worked, too. I remember playing it in his apartment when he lived over there by Brown University.
Yeah, and the worst thing about that is he just left it there. He was like, when he moved, he was like, dude, me and him put that in his apartment by ourselves. Like, he had the best setup. That was like the best apartment for like one person ever. Or
I remember that place.
And he when he left, he's like, I just can't even fucking don't even want to deal with this. He just left it. So someone inherited that, and it's probably gone up exponentially in value as like nerd culture becomes more prominent in the world. You know what I mean? Like,
he just contacted me a couple of months ago.
Oh yeah,
I'm back in contact with Jim P. Yeah,
well,
paper cut in the pee hole as he used to be.
Yeah, and yeah, that's right. And your brother was Slam Durango.
Slam Durango, yeah.
Oh, Big Earn.
Big Earn.
Big Ernie. Yeah, me and him still talk all the time, and it's mostly still doing the same shit, sending each other like the most ridiculous fucking retarded jackass vehicles and goading each other into trying to buy them. That's most of what we do.
That's how he started with me. He started sending me Fox Body Mustangs for sale in Massachusetts. He's like, look at these things went up in price.
They did. Everything went up in price, man. Like,
yeah.
Dude, it's crazy. But, I'm not going to, I'm just putting this out there for the world. People, this is kind of inside stuff, but I can't express the disappointment I have in Jim P right now. Dude, seriously, like, Jim, so like, I found this is literally a town over from Chopperhead. Like, it's literally 10 minutes away. It's on my route from when I leave Chopperhead and go to the tattoo shop. There's a 70s fucking Star Wars van, a 70s van with a big Star Wars mural painted on it, and for affordable money. And I'm like, Jim, fucking destiny calls, brother. Like that's, like all he's into is fucking Star Wars and 70s vans. I'm like, dude, fucking here's the one, dude. It's the fucking Holy Grail. And he's like, oh, I can't right. Jim, I can't right now. Blah, blah, blah. So I went there. I was ready to, I'm still negotiating with the dude trying to buy it because I'm going to have it and keep it and just roll around until he's ready. And then I'm going to let him buy it for whatever I have into it because like, you know what I mean? And the second he sees it, he's going to want it. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. But it's like the quintessential 70s van with the porthole fucking windows and the fucking, it's got sunroofs and all that shit and fucking big Star Wars mural on the side. Like, fucking perfect.
I can screenshot a conversation that me and him had that would ruin you even more.
Yeah.
A very sentimental, heartwarming conversation that I didn't even know I was talking to Jim P anymore.
Yeah.
But, looking out for me, giving me some good advice. And I went, man, holy shit. And wishing me good luck with everything. I went, who the fuck is this dude?
Well, that's the thing, man. Well, it's not even that, like, because it's like something you said earlier. Even though a lot of our friends, like, are gnarly dudes, and some are more gnarly than others and whatever, but you know what I mean? Everyone's still fucking a legit solid dude that would we have each other's backs. And that's I feel legitimately sad for people that don't have that in the world because like
and so do I.
That's more important than any amount of fucking money or riches or whatever. Like,
Yep.
It's like, and that's what makes everything cool. Like, I don't give a shit. I got a good fucking crew of dudes that I roll with, and
Yeah.
fucking, and
Yep.
like I don't have to be like, we're all taken care of, and we're all, we all do well.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we're not buying private islands yet, but so whatever, man. But like we all, at the end of the day, we got good dudes that we can fucking count. My problem is I just don't get to spend enough time with everyone because I'm fucking working.
Right, and you want to like I was saying earlier too, like spending so much time here and how it runs into problems. And you could run into problems with your relationship, and it just people don't get it. That was the other side of it, was like sitting back and going like, you know what, man, fuck this. I came to a point where it was almost over. So, I mean, it was over. I came back for a reason. So I was like, not even to be religious or anything, just saying like, fuck, something just told me you got to do more. So I literally changed everything. Like, there was no hesitation for me to sit in this shop until 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 in the morning. Yeah. No hesitation. I didn't give a fuck, especially if I was enhanced. Yeah. I'd stay here all fucking day. But
if you were stimulated,
but it was, if I had some sort of stimulation. Yeah. but yeah, I mean, but after all that, I said, you know what, man, we got to come in here at 9:00 and we got to leave here at 5:00.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, I gotta get home. I gotta spend time in my house. I gotta spend time with my friends. I have to live a life, and it's the same thing with, like, we were joking around about traveling before. Yeah, you do have to pick and choose, but that's what I have to do. I have to pick and choose. I can't just constantly, at any time someone go, hey, you want to do this? Nah, I got to work. Hey, you want to do it? Nah, I got to work. Hey, you want to go hit? Nah, I got to work. No, I can't take this day. I can't take that day. Now it's like, no, fuck that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go do that, And it was one of the decisions, or one of the factors in making this decision that I needed help here. Like, I sat here for the longest time for years and saying this is my gig. I'm considering myself almost, somewhat retired. I did the whole 9 to 5 thing. I did the whole office thing, and I'm going to run this on my own. And Sam had come to me a while ago asking me to step in here, and I went, why don't you just work here? Because I can't be, if I don't come into work one day or I do something different, this was my thing. I don't want somebody here telling me that I did this wrong, or I did this, or you got to be here, you got to be there. But when it came down to it, and I sat there and thought about it, I'm like, I can't do this on my own no more. I can't. I mean, these just the last couple of days, I shoot in here. We're here at 9 a.m. We're opened up. We're ready to go. Bikes pushed out, and then I get a phone call. If it's just me, now I'm on the phone, or now I got to go get parts.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't even push bikes out because it was just me here. So if I get in here at 9, I have to hang out for an hour until Harley opens so I could go grab the parts that I ordered.
Yeah, and then no one's there when you're gone. Yeah, and you got to wait. Yeah, and you're not going to roll out and then roll in to fucking go to the store to get parts or whatever,
And then you start saying, well, why am I opening at 9 then? I should just open at 10:30. And one thing leads to the other, and it's later and later. Now it's like, we came in here, this morning. We come in here, we unload everything. Okay, let's talk about this, that, and the other thing. I'm going to run this shit to powder coat. You're going to finish up this bike. I'm going to, I come back. Okay, I got a call from Harley. This part came in, run over to Harley. I'll go grab lunch. Yeah, I mean, when I say finish this bike, Sam just, looked at me. But it takes him sometimes a little longer than usual to finish certain bikes because he's a ginger and he tries to reinvent the wheel. But other than that, I mean, it was, I can leave here.
Yeah.
I can leave here. Yeah. Or he's got something to do this weekend. He's got to go do it. One of the things I understand, I learned it in the shop I worked at in New York. Certain people you work with, they got to leave and do stuff. He's in a club. He's got to go do something. He's got to go to a funeral, or he's got to go on a run. If he was working a regular job, he might get jammed up at work. Yeah. Or he might get stuck. I understand that part of it, and that gives him the freedom to say, "Hey Nick, I gotta fly out on Friday. I'm gonna be back Sunday. I'll be back Monday morning." And I know now I'm prepared to open up the shop Friday and Saturday, or just Saturday on my own. but at least he's getting to do his thing too.
Sure.
So it balances it out, and there's a ton of fucking weight off my chest now. It's weird, on top of feeling better with the health shit, and then having somebody here who I know when this dude shows up, I don't worry about nothing. Me and Ari, we have a 2,000 square foot shop, and then we have a 1,000 square foot shop that is just basically for storage. Actually Christian leaves his car and then splits it with us. But our entire livelihood's in here. Like, I had a guy one time go, "Hey man, what's your retirement fund?" And I said, "Selling all this. Liquidating is retiring." This is my life here.
Yep. There's no 401k with when you own your motorcycle shop or whatever.
Yeah. This is my whole life. And what I have to remember too is this building, this is also Ari's livelihood. So if I fuck up, he's fucked, or vice versa. So when I brought somebody in here, that was my other thing. It's like, how do you bring somebody in here? I mean, who do you trust?
Yeah. Well, especially when you've had bad situations before with other people.
Right. I mean, shit, I've left here in an emergency and left the door unlocked. You're like, oh, fuck, did I lock the door? Shit, you call Ari, and luckily Ari's father's right up the street. He could shoot down here and check, whatever. But, now I'm going, okay, again, it's great. I have someone who works here, right? Well, what if I need to take Friday off? If I'm not here to unlock the door, well, no one's going to get in. So at least this dude, like, I got a guy here who I know when he comes in, he's got steak here. Yep. He's got fucking $20,000 worth of tools sitting here. He's got fucking bikes sitting here. He's got parts sitting here. And he's solid and got a fucking head on his shoulder where he's not going to leave and fucking, oh, fuck this place, or I'll just leave the door open or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Well, hey, I was giving you a compliment. But, that's the other, there's the other part of running a business. You're going to have to find somebody you're going to trust he's going to handle, that person's handling your livelihood, your money, your fucking retirement, your, everything. And like I said before, luckily I got guys around me. I put my fucking life in their hands without fucking question. I understand that there's not going to be no problem. So, that was a huge, to sit down. I remember sitting when he first asked me years ago, he wanted to come in, and I'm going, oh, man, 24-year-old dude, just got in the club. I'm going, this, I watched him work on bikes. I know he's solid. I don't know him that well. Again, I didn't grow up out here. I don't know. And I'm dealing with a guy who I'm his father's age. And I'm going like, this kid could be my son. And with Sam, he lost both his parents early, but he's got this mentality, this older mentality where you don't think he's, a young dude.
Yeah, because he's had to fend for himself. Yeah.
Right. So you're going, but still, like, how do we do this? And then he was still working union then, and he wasn't getting a lot of hours at work, so he started to work for me part time. And then it was okay. He bought a Snap-on toolbox. I mean, here's a $15,000 toolbox in my shop, and it's got $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 worth of tools in it. Okay, so this dude's got something, and he's got something here. He's got steak here. You know what I'm saying? And you still wonder, and you still think, and then I would sit down on the couch, and I'm going, and my other thing was, and maybe this goes through your head, and I don't know, probably other people who own companies, but now someone works for you. What if we don't have any work tomorrow?
Oh, dude, and this is something you don't have to think about now out there, but I dread thinking about, fuck, winter's coming, man. I got to think about this shit. You know what I mean? And dude, that is like the biggest stress in my life. Yeah, man. I'm like, fuck.
Slow times. It's crazy. I've had guys work for me in and out here and there, and I've thought about them, but now I got a guy who really wants to be here, and a young guy, and you're going, I don't want to ruin this dude. I don't want this dude to be, a month from now going like, fuck, Nick, I can't make a living. We're not making any money, and then again, then there's that stress. Am I doing this right? I didn't go to business school. Who the fuck knows? I mean, both of us have pretty decent, maybe extensive educations, so way more than we need for what we do. But it's like, this is a business. This ain't reading out of a book. This is something else. And
yeah, man.
so when he eventually came to me this last time and was like, hey man, I really want to do this. This union shit ain't working out. I'm sick of fucking pickaxe and shovels. I want to do this. And I went, you know what? And I'm ready. Like, come on and let's do it in this fashion, So, and again, and I have all the trust in the world in this dude. Like I said, I'll put my fucking life in his hands. There's no question. And there's no question about the security of my shop when I'm not here.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
It's just the way they, because, you like I was saying before, you walk out the door, fuck, man, there's people out there that'll take you for everything you're fucking worth. There's no doubt about it. Not bad an eye. There's some real fucking shitty fucking people out there.
Absolutely.
It's hard to come across somebody and come across someone you're on the same page. The other thing is, in here, I'm fuck, you know me a long time. I'm no one's boss. I don't know how to be a boss. I don't know how to tell somebody what to do. I'm I'm probably a bigger asshole at 45 than this kid's ever been yet. So it's, you're going like, how do I do this in a sense where I don't want somebody who's just going to not run over me, because I won't allow it, but I don't want to be arguing in here and yelling at somebody like a boss. And luckily, again, I got someone, this dude, all he wants to do is work on motorcycles. That's all he wants to do.
Yeah, man.
He comes in, puts his headphones in. That's it. He's working on a fucking motorcycle. No one's bothering him. No one's doing anything. And we, for a long time before I got sick, we were training partners. So fuck, we'd be here at 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, leave here, go right to the gym, train till 8 o'clock at night. We were I was with him more than anybody.
Yeah.
And it's just the same thing with Ari. I spend more of my time with Ari and Sam than I do my fiance or my dog.
Yep.
And if it's not going to work, like, fuck, if we're butting heads constantly, what a shitty day that's been.
Sure. But the good thing is that you spent all that time together already, so you would know early on, like before you even allowed him to become, more involved in the business, like you would have known already. You already felt it out and felt the situation out. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's why I did it. I don't know if I had that exact intention to do it that way, but that's why. But it worked out that way. That he sat here and he worked with me, and he spent hours with me, and he spent time with me, and we spent time outside the shop and in the shop, and it's funny. Like, these guys come in and I'll get him come in and be like, hey, can I talk to you? And on a personal level, and I'm like, dude, what are you asking me for? Like what the fuck? And like, man, no, you kind of got your shit together. And I'm like, what? Me? Yeah. I'm a fucking nightmare. But there's the age and there's the experience. And if I could throw it that way and these dudes learn something, that's just a plus in a whole nother dimension of saying, don't do as I say, don't do as I do. I fucked up. I learned, look at this mistake I made. Don't do this, and it works. Some of these, if he's having problems with his chick, or someone's like, hey man, what? And I'm like, yeah, no, spend time with your girl, man. Don't fucking ignore your girl. It backfires. Trust me, I'm working on that now. So it's cool across the board. And again, it just adds on to what I said earlier. I just get to do what I love every day with fucking dudes around me, solid. I mean, that's why guys. That's why people show up here all day. That's just to fucking hang out, because it's just a cool place. We're in here fucking off, talking shit, having a good time. Yeah, there's always a beer in the fridge. Go grab it. There's a bottle of whiskey on the fucking file cabinet if you need that. But whatever it is, it's across the board. It's great. And not to get too sentimental, but fuck, I owe it to you. You're the one who started me in this. So. I'm living this great life because I met you and got to fucking figure out that this is something you could do for a living.
Me and Jim have had many offline conversations saying, man, I can't believe we ruined Nick's life like this. This dude had his shit together. He was like this fucking professional dude, fucking had everything. Fuck, feel so bad.
No way, man. Greatest fucking move I ever made. And I mean, coming out here because, I left a lot,
I know,
on the East Coast.
you sacrificed a lot to do what you love, and that's
I
mad
did.
respect for that. Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, and to be, I thought about the other day. I'm like, fuck, I'm doing this 8 years full time. 8 years full time. Have there been tough times? Hell yeah. Was I digging up fucking change from the couch to pay a bill? You're fucking right. Did I have to borrow from Peter to pay Paul here and there? But now the way it turns out, I got a couple of bucks in my pocket. I got 2 fucking Harleys. I got a beautiful fiance, a great dog, and a group of the most solid motherfuckers around me on both coasts, let alone and throughout the Midwest too. I could go pretty much anywhere, like you were saying, anywhere we could go in the United States, fucking be anywhere,
Yeah, man.
But I told a couple of young cats at accident, they're like, "Hey man, how'd you do that?" You gotta be a solid, trustworthy, stand-up fucking person to begin with. You're not gonna make it through this life being a shiesty, thieving cocksucker. It's not gonna work.
Nope.
It's not gonna work. You gotta be a solid dude, and that whole like energy shit attracts. It is. You're a solid dude. You'll have solid dudes around you. You will. Yep. You'll fish out the snakes. You'll see the snakes.
Absolutely.
You see them right away.
Yeah,
but you'll have that solid group around you. Like I said, I don't have to worry about nothing in some of the sketchiest areas of situations because I know somebody's there. And that all adds up to it, and that's why I could run a successful shop and do what I love too, because I'm not a fucking piece of shit.
And it's something you said earlier was the key to it. You said when a bike leaves, our goal is to make sure that it doesn't come back for that same reason, and that it's safe. And
right.
There's a lot of shit we see, man. Like, there's a lot of shops around you. This shop's around me too, right? And there's not as many as probably as around you, but we get people that come from other shops, and it's like, what the fuck were they fucking doing, dude? Like, and it's like, and I say the same thing. My guys the same way, man. We're like, fuck, like there's only 2 wheels on a bike. You cannot fuck around, man. Like like, especially with like brakes or fucking other shit. Like and it's like, and I won't even like our policy here with someone comes in for a fucking a mountain balance on a tire. If their wheel bearings are shitty and they don't want to do it. Yeah, we're changing. I'll fucking eat it. I shouldn't put that out. You know what I mean? But like, I'm not letting someone leave with shitty wheel bearings, because I had a wheel bearing blow out doing 80 fucking miles on the highway, dude, and fucking instantly crossed 3 fucking lanes. And I was lucky there was no one around. Like, I never would want anyone to do that, man. And it's like, you got to have integrity in this business. Otherwise it's going to come. You won't be long for it, man. That's the only way with longevity, dude. Is you got to do the right shit by people. And it's like, you're gonna keep everyone happy? No, because there's people that'll fucking complain about anything, dude. Like, if someone comes in and all they do is complain about the last 10 shops they brought their bike to, then pretty much they're gonna leave and talk shit about you. But it's like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean?
No, yeah, you can't make everyone happy, but as long as it goes out of here happy. I mean, as long as it goes out of here safe. I just spoke to a customer right when you called me. I was just talking to a dude and got a bike here, and it's got a massive electrical problem, and when we looked at it, the wiring harness is fucked. I mean, it's a custom bike. There's shit all over the place, and
it's a nightmare.
And he came in, and I said, "Look, man, here's the deal. Like, you need a new harness, and we could do one. We could build a custom harness and really simplify this thing down, and but it's going to take 5-6 hours to do this, and at our shop rate." And he went, "You know what? Put the bike back together, and I'm going to come pick it up tomorrow." And I said, "Okay." And he looked at me. He gave me a look, and he went to walk out the door. And I said, "Hey, dude." And he turned around. I said, "Is there bad blood here? Is there a problem here?" Like, and he goes, "No. I apologize. It's just I'm so pissed off. The guy I bought this from in the other shop that it was at, and they said they fixed everything." And I go, "Look, I'm just showing you." He goes, "No, I appreciate it. I apologize." And he was just upset.
Yeah.
He was just upset and understandable, but. Me as a shop owner, I'm like, I don't want you to be mad at me. I'm not even charging you. I spent an hour and a half looking at this bike, and I'm not even charging you. Because I feel bad this other shop took advantage of you. Not only did I show you the electrical problems, but look, he said he rebuilt your carburetor. Obviously, he didn't even take this carburetor off. The seals are bad. This is bad. That's still bad. The fucking, the wheel that the throttle cable is rotating on is cracked in half. Like, you're going to tell me you rebuilt this fucking carburetor?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I go, look, I could give you a list of things we found wrong with it. And, you could go over there. And I go, if I was you, he charges $600-700, I'd ask for your money back.
Yeah.
He obviously didn't fix it. And, I'm sure someone's either going to call me, or I know what shop he went to, and he'll probably tell another shop owner. And then someone will come and talk to me, which that's fine. You come, but I would tell the guy, I'll tell another shop owner straight up, like, hey man, you fucked the dude.
Yeah. Why?
You fucked the dude. And it's here, and I'm just being honest. I'm not bad mouthing you. I'm just saying this is what's wrong with your bike. I didn't tell him the guy who fixed it didn't fix it. I just said this is what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
And it's shade. I'm telling you, like you said, I bikes come in here and I'm going, what the fuck were these guys thinking? This dude's got to ride this fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do this? Or, okay, someone's going to leave something loose. Someone's going to leave something unplugged. It happens, man. We're human. We make mistakes. But, you have a bike that's just full of fucking wiring issues, and this is bad and that's bad. And, it's just fucked, dude. Yeah. Everyone's like, what are you doing? But I think, unfortunately, in this industry, there was such a rise in it, and everybody loves to be, so many guys just ran out and opened up motorcycle shops because they thought they could do it. It's easier than a car, right? It's only got two wheels. Like, nah, it ain't. It's all the same. It's all the same shit when it comes down to it, but you don't have doors and four wheels to balance on and doors to protect you. You're putting a dude out on the freeway doing 100 miles an hour on a fucking seat.
Yep. Yeah, you can plug a tire on a car because you got four wheels, and if you get a blowout, it probably ain't gonna be as a big deal. Like, so when people come in, they try and get us to plug tires. I'm like, you fucking high, dude? I ain't fucking plugging a tire. Just get a fucking tire, man. Fuck that.
Right, or people trying to buy used tires. I'm like, no, dude.
No.
You put a new tire on it, even if it's like a fucking cheap Shinko or something. At least you got a new fucking tire. And you're gonna kill yourself. I tell somebody, you're gonna kill yourself, man, with warped brake rotors and fucking used tires and bad bearings and loose necks and like, what the fuck? You've blown fork seals. Like, dude, this is all you got. You go crazy down on this. And like you said, since there is so much riding around here, I mean, there's bikes going down left and right. I mean, I'm personal friends with a personal injury attorney who I hand out way too many of her business cards, from people getting hit or guys going down for some reason. And, she does very well, and she's a motorcycle activist. Really, all she takes on is motorcycle cases, and she does that well. So it just goes to show you it happens. And I've been riding for how long? And I rode through Brooklyn. I rode through Manhattan, all over Long Island when I lived out there. I got hit 3 times on a bike, and they were all in California, and I've only been here for 8 years.
Dude, and New York ain't getting any better, man. Like, I'm like,
no,
fuck, dude. They didn't use COVID to fix the fucking roads, dude. Like, like
it was like a war zone.
Yeah, like it's like you got the shitty roads with like massive fucking debilitating potholes and fucking insane traffic. You know what I mean? And it's it's like being in a fucking video game. And like Boston ain't half as bad. Like the traffic's as bad, but like our roads are just a little bit better for some reason. And it's like fucking bananas. Well,
and that's why I laugh out here. Everyone's like, oh man, these roads suck. And I just laugh. Or this traffic sucks. And I laugh. I'm like, dude, you don't even know. Yeah. There were fucking potholes that would take you out. I mean, I remember watching the news in the morning where they were giving pothole alerts. Like, oh, there's a pothole on the fucking Cross Bronx Expressway and this and that. It's funny. I mean, but getting used to it out here, of course, I've been here long enough now where, I'm like, oh, this road sucks, but I'm like, fuck, I remember how it used to be. It's not that bad.
No. And I'm East Coast. I don't even like riding into New York City anymore, dude. I'm like, all right.
Nah. Fuck that. Fuck that.
But dude, one of the things you said, man, is besides the thing about just being fucking like a decent person and a ethical business fucking person in this, like having a tight team of like dudes you trust around you at your shop in your place of business, dude. I got Cole and Junior at my shop now, and like, I don't bat an eye if I got to go run errands or if I had,
Yep.
Mondays now I'm back, the tattoo shop's back open. So I go on Mondays and those two guys got run of the shop and I don't worry a fucking a millisecond, dude. And I'm like, call me or text me if there's any issues. And, and I still will do shit through the day, like ordering or do whatever. And, in between clients or whatever, because, it never ends. But like fucking, it's such a comfort to have fucking solid people, working with you dude, it's such a relief. Yeah, I just meant to say I can 100% empathize. It's funny, like the trajectories are kind of the same, you know what I mean? Like, with, like, and the growing pains are the same, and so it's like, fuck yeah, man. Like, I don't understand how sketchy dudes last as long as they do in this industry, but some of them seem to make a fucking, can make a career out of it, dude. Like, it's fucking insanity, man, And they'll still find motherfuckers to drink the Kool-Aid, too, with them.
That's what I'm saying. You always got a group of people who just go, fuck it. He ain't harming me. Fuck it. So you got that, and then you get the people that come up that don't know any better and fall for it. And that's everywhere. I think that's everywhere in life, and it's going to be across the board, no matter what you're doing. It's all the same bullshit. But I won't allow it here, and that's like the other thing. Like with Sam being here, I know he won't allow it. We get a guy in here who stuffs the slide, and it's like, hey, look, we gotta help it here now, and a couple of weeks ago, the kid was slipping. He was slipping. He wasn't doing anything to fuck us over, but you could see he wasn't getting enough sleep, and he was out too much, and we had to pull him aside and say, hey, next week you're off. And he goes, what do you mean? Like, you're out, dude. Go straighten yourself out. Go fucking figure it out. Don't come back until you're ready. Don't come back in here acting like that. I can't have it. I can't have you. And that kid's back on the doorstep, knocking on the door, asking like, hey man, I'm squared this up. I squared that up. I paid this bill off. I paid off the people I owed money to. And can I come back? And, he realized, I said, look, I'm not mad at you. I'm just telling you, get your shit together.
Yeah. You can't be here half-ass. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't be here and like every 5 minutes be running outside on your phone or, can I leave early today? And it's like, dude, this is a job. You want it to be a full-time job, then it's got to be a full-time job. It's all fun and, everybody gets to get away with a little bit here and there, but in the long run and when it comes down to it, this is a job. And it's like I said earlier, that you don't want to be outside on the phone fighting with your girlfriend and then coming in here and forgetting if you talk that axle nut down. This isn't going to be fun when this fucking guy goes down. You got to remember. The last thing I want to hear is I had a customer leave here one night. We built this bike. I mean, I never even got a picture of the bike. It was a badass bike. We did an engine build. We did a fucking front suspension. This guy put money in this machine, and I just had put a set of hard bags on it with a fucking custom mount to hold them so they wouldn't touch the fender. It was so fucking clean. I was so hyped on it. And the dude called me up and I go, dude, your bag's done. I took a picture of it. He goes, I'm going to come get the bike right now. I'm going to come get the fucking bike right now. And I went, all right. And he had someone drop him off. It was 11:30 at night. I'll never forget it. 11:30 at night. Dude came in all hyped up about his bike, got on his bike and he left. And 15 minutes later, I got a phone call. He's down. I said, shit, where are you? I jump in the fucking, I had my friend's truck. I jump in the truck and I shoot down the 15 freeway on a fucking expired license. Like, I didn't give a fuck. I got to go figure this out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I pulled down there and the bike's totaled. Kid's fucked up. He's not as bad as I thought. He fucked his hand up here and there. And I'm talking to him while he's sitting there. The ambulance is coming and I loaded the bike in the truck. Cops are being dicks. And I go, what happened? And he goes, I don't know, man. I lost control. I was coming down here. The bike got into a wobble. I'm like, a wobble? I go and look at his bike, and he had a GPS steering stabilizer set to 20. I go, how the fuck this thing wobble? You could hardly turn the fucking bars, How'd it wobble? I go, how fast are you going? I was doing like 120, 125. Man, I came back here. I was beside myself. I'm going, did I fuck up something on the front end? I mean, it's hard for me to tell now. The bike was down. What did I do? And it stuck with me, and it stuck with me for a long time. I was just told, this was probably 2 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, 2.5, say 3 years ago tops. I was just told that kid left my shop on a suicide mission. And I'm going, fuck. And since he didn't die in that wreck, he had that flash, kind of like, oh shit, I guess I'm here for a reason, but never told me. But you know how long that fucked with me, that I thought something we did caused that bike to go down? I was up all night trying to figure out, like, what did I do to this dude's bike that caused it to go down? I feel way better about it. I mean, I'm sorry he had to do that, and I'm sorry he felt that way at one point in his life, but it's like, shit, at least it wasn't me. But I tell these guys, like, hey, dude, like, that night that bike went down, like, I didn't know what to think. I had a friend leave here one time too. I never worked on his bike. He left here one time and pulled back up about 25, 30 minutes later. And I'm looking at him, I go, man, something looks different about this dude. I didn't realize the windshield and the fairing was missing off his bike, like at first glance, and I walked out there, I'm like, what the fuck? And he had just went down on the freeway. Now, we didn't work on his bike. He was just coming by to hang out. And I wound up working on his bike after that. But again, shit, that guy just left here, and you think to yourself, man, he could have maybe never came back. It's fucked up because, and it's because the guy who worked on his bike before didn't fucking know how to set up the front suspension properly on a cartridge front end, and the front end froze up, and when he grabbed the brake, it just locked up and launched him off the bike. But crazy shit happens. So if you're not paying attention, fuck, you could kill somebody, and I don't think anybody wants to live with that. Definitely not. So it's something I like to keep these guys. Let's pay attention to what we're doing. Let's try to stay off our phones as much as possible. Let's try to start one job and finish it, not run around like a lunatic doing 500 different things, because you're going to forget something. It's just nature. It's nature.
Yeah, man.
But other than that, fuck it.
Brostradamus predicts that there'll be a little decline in the number of new bike shops after this podcast comes out. People will be like, fuck, that's heavy shit that these motherfuckers are thinking about and dealing with. But the flip side of that coin is every day it's like, even though like it's fucking miserable right now in the shop, we don't get AC, it's fucking 90 to 100 degrees and 100% humidity, trying to weld, or, I'm trying to weld, these guys are trying to fucking wrench on bikes, fucking whatever. End of the day, it's like we're still fucking in a bike shop. We're still working on motorcycles. We're still fucking, I'm the same way as you. It's like there's beer in the fridge. There's a fucking pretty much a full fucking bar sitting on the counter in the break room. Like, we're not on the roof fucking spreading tar. You know what I mean? Like, or putting shingles down, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly that, or even, I mean, fuck, I was pampered with the air conditioner sitting at an office and whatnot, but I hated it. I hated going to work every day and standing in that line for the elevator and sitting at my desk. It was an easy job. I was making good money. Like I said, I had the house and the cars and, had the garage set up and I could work and do that shit. But fuck, I was going in, I was turning on someone else's lights. I was making somebody else money and just wasting time. Like, I've told a couple of these dudes, and I had told it to Sam. I said, man, this is what you want to do? And he goes, yeah, man, I think I'm starting late. I said, I was 10 years older than you when I did this. So, stick with it now. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of fucked up, but it's kind of funny. When I had the procedure a couple of weeks ago, the night before, it was a Wednesday night. I go, okay, let's walk outside, get a notepad. Let's go over, what needs to be done, what bikes have to be worked on, whatnot. And we go over all the stuff, and I give him his list, and we come back in the shop, and we're just about cleaning up, and he goes, hey, can I ask you something? And I go, what's up? And he goes, man, I don't know. I don't really know how to put it. And I go, just say it. What? And he goes, all right. Basically, if something happens tomorrow, can I carry on the name of the shop? I was like, absolutely, man. You want me to write it on a piece of paper and sign it?
Yeah. No, and you know what, dude? And not for nothing, man. That's fucking rad that someone wants to carry the legacy. You know what I mean? That's a huge thing. That was
huge to me. It was funny, and we laughed about it. And he's like, dude, I felt so weird. But I was like, you know what? it's a difficult question to ask. I knew where he was coming from, but I go, man, that's badass to me. Like, fuck, I'm doing something or started something that I got another person saying like, hey, I want to carry this on. You know, I want to continue doing this, and I want to do it in your name. You know, and it's like, you know, he could have just sat here and said, fuck, if something happens during Nick's operation and he fucking kicks it, I'll just start my own shop. But he goes, no, I want to keep it in. I want to keep this name. I want to keep it going. And I was like, yeah, dude. And it's cool because there's a lot of dudes like there's a lot of dudes that come by here, guys that ride hard, guys, you know, it's California. People are riding all year.
Yeah.
I know people, including myself up until a year ago, who never had a car. You know, I never had a car out here. I was always on a bike. And, you know, when those guys come in and they're like happy to be here or proud to rock a sticker or a t-shirt or like, hey man, I got fucking REV bars on this bike, and we'll all laugh, but you know, the dude's like, no, seriously, like I got fucking REV bars. And it's like, you know, you back up for a minute and you go, shit, we must be doing something right. You know, these dudes are stoked on it. And I just got a new run of t-shirts, which I have a couple set aside to send out to you, of course. But I got guys who just hit me up. Dude hit me up out in Massachusetts, 2 guys just in Massachusetts who had ordered some parts from me and then hit me up like, hey man, can I get a t-shirt from you? And I throw some stickers in there. And these dudes are stoked on, I get to rock this t-shirt in Massachusetts. I get to rock this t-shirt in New York. And it's funny because some of the dudes that don't know all this that we just spoke about and think I'm just a California guy, and they're like, yeah, man, I got a fucking t-shirt from California. Like, there's a shop in California. Or guys call up like, hey, you got a shop in California. Can you explain this to me? And I'm going, yeah, man, I used to live right by you too and did the same dumbass shit. But yeah, I mean, I guess, and it's, you know, we used to rock those stickers. Fuck how they do it in California. And now it's like, now I'm out here going like, yeah, right? Fuck the East Coast, man. We're figuring it out. but it's, you know,
well, we still got to start the East Coast West Coast chopper wars. I mean, now that choppers, right. You know what I mean. That was a plan we've had for a long time. Just trying to get enough dudes on board to know it's a joke, and we go and just try and set it off. But
it's probably good that we're this busy. I think if either one of us had enough time on our hands, we would just do too many dumb shit. Fucking thing.
It's good. It's 2 things. One, that we're this busy and that we're still like just kind of like above the poverty line, and like we don't have too much fucking like just like fucking total discretionary like fuck you income, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Because if we were bored with a lot of money, there'd be a lot of dumb shit going on.
Oh yeah, it'd be a problem.
I know, and that's the beauty of also the other part of like being in the bike shop is you never fucking grow up, man. It's like Peter Pan.
Nope.
Like I'm like, all right, I go to my bike shop and then I go to my tattoo shop, and I'm like, all right, fucking yeah, dude, whatever.
Yeah. 2 totally ridiculous things to do for a living. Yeah. And like I said, like, you know, the girl that said it a couple of years ago, when are you going to stop playing with motorcycles and get a real job? Hey, if I could play all day and make decent money and survive, I'll stick to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'll stick to what I'm doing.
Yeah, and it's like it's just keeping that perspective, man. Because you know, no matter what it is and whatever you do, you're gonna get stressed, and there's gonna be times where it's harder, times where you struggle, or whatever. And it's like, you know, there's like 2 months, you know, in the winter, like I hardly ever get paid from the bike shop, and I just live off the tattoo shop because it's winter and shit's shut down, and there's not the bike traffic. You know what I mean? So we got some long-term projects, and that keeps my guys paid and the bills paid and the lights on. But like, there's not enough left over for me to fucking draw. So I'm like, whatever, dude. Like, you know, it sucks, and I might be like about it sometimes, but in the end of the day, I'm like, still alive, fucking still carving your own way through the world means a lot to like a certain type of dude like you or me, or you know, the countless others that we know that are doing this. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's like for big reward or no reward, it's still the reward is the life itself. You know what I mean? Like, just being some pirate ass motherfuckers. You know what I mean? And just whatever. Like, especially, I feel what I get worried about is that in this day and age where there's there's I don't know, like it's cool, like you say, you got your dude there, Sam, that's like in his like mid 20s, and Junior just turned 30 last week, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, all right, it's cool that there's younger dudes that are fucking about it, you know what I mean? Because like I don't know how many there's gonna be, and like, you know what I mean? And
Not
it's
many.
like, and it's like crazy, and I'm like, what's gonna happen in like 20 years if they just totally ban fucking, you know, fucking fuel engines, you know what I mean? And everything's fucking electric, which could fucking happen, dude. It's not like,
I know.
it's not, you know what I mean? Like, what are we gonna fucking do? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, like, you know, we'll be like not like a novelty, you know what I mean? We're already like fucking cavemen in this world. Like, it's like, what are we gonna be at that point?
They're running out of that cloth. They really are. That this type of person isn't as available as it once used to be. You know.
Yeah.
And it's funny to think like shit. We're getting there. We're almost in our 50s, and it's like, okay, where it is. You know, I look like you just said. I look around. I don't get me wrong. We get a group of dudes in here that are about it. You know, some younger dudes that are definitely still the same at a certain level, but it's not like it used to be. I remember when I worked in the shop in New York, almost everyone that came through that door was on that level.
Yeah.
You know, now it's like, it's a rarity to get that guy that's in here. You know, we'll talk about it all the time. I'll be honest, I still get a little active with my hands here and there when somebody disrespects me. So,
sure, yeah.
you know, I'm still out there doing it, and it's like, man, now you got to worry about, hey, you disrespected me, I smacked you up a couple of years ago back. It was like, okay, cool. Now it's like, oh, I called the cops, and my girlfriend didn't like that, and this guy filmed it on his phone, and now you're going to jail for 6 years for aggravated assault. And it's like, come on, man. It was just a fucking couple of fucking guys in the alleyway settling out a dispute. You know, what do you want me to do? You want me to just sit back here and take it? Like, I'm sorry, I still can't. If you call me a liar or an asshole, I might punch you in the face. It might be happening. And you know what? You might catch me with a good one. And if you do, I'll sleep it off. That's cool. You know, I ain't calling no cop.
Yeah, exactly, man.
But, you know, just be ready. If you call me an asshole, we might have to get down in the parking lot and dance a little bit. And now with this blood flowing through me, I'm ready to fucking do a couple of fucking rounds.
That's fair warning to everybody in the greater the greater San Marcos, San Diego, Oceanside area. Like Nick's like at full volume of blood flow again.
Yeah.
He's never been there. He probably hasn't been full blood flow for years.
It's been a while. I said it the other day to Ari. Goes, well, when you first moved out here, I think you had this type of energy, but I don't really know. I go, dude, I wake up at 5:45 every morning with no alarm, no matter what time I go to bed, and take a 2-mile walk. The dog the other day was fucking one eye and fake snoring me. I'm going, come on, man, we got to go for a walk. He's like, nah, I'm still sleeping. I ain't going nowhere. I got energy. I was just driving my girl crazy. I think driving me crazy, and I looked at her. I go. She goes, will you knock it the fuck off? I go, you wish my arteries are still clogged, don't you? And she goes, kind of.
Yeah,
you know, I'm ready to go. So yeah, like you said, fair warning. Hey man, you want to step in the ring? I'm ready to dance. Whoever wants to go. I got that nickname Nicky Mitts out here. I got it for a reason.
Should you got to make industry custom hands-on mechanic shirts?
we had a couple of them we were thinking about the other day. I said we're going to do, because they're you know, I'll be honest, the shop did gain a certain reputation. I mean, we're there, but it's a motorcycle shop. We're trying to keep it like it was in the old days. We're trying to keep it real, legit, you know. But some kid came in the other day. He goes, "Hey man, I could become I'm a bit of a hothead. Can you guys just give me a break?" I was like, they're coming in with a warning. Yeah.
It'd be like, well, this isn't a safe space to be hot-headed. Put it that way. How's that?
Yeah.
You know,
that's what I said. I said, let's just all get along. You know, keep it cool when you come here. How about that? And he's been good. He's been good.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people don't realize too, is that like real dudes, like I don't know how to explain it. Like, if you just go somewhere and you're cool, like, you don't really ever got nothing to worry about. And it's wicked easy to be cool. Like, it's wicked easy to just be fucking act right. Like, and it's not even anything anyone should ever have to tell you, you know?
No.
I mean, I get it. Some people get drunk and get a little loose and get a little weird. And, you know, just don't do that. Don't do, if you know you like that, and you do know you like that, you know, if, you know,
yes,
like,
you do. Yeah.
Don't get that hammered when you're around people you don't know. That could be a little bit serious. Like, and then that's really it. Just fucking be cool, man. It's super easy to be cool. Like, you know, I don't get it.
It really is. And
it's also about being authentic. Like, if you're not
legit.
If you're not, I like it so much more when someone's a goofy motherfucker and that's what they are. And they're not trying to act hard, and they're just funny, or they're just cool, or like, that's my cool friend. That's the dude that will like fucking go out and do whatever for you, and he's just a nice dude, but he's not handsy. Like, that's all right. I fucking respect that more than some dude. Like, you don't got to come in and put on airs, because that's so fucking transparent and annoying that, like, you know, it's like.
It'll be read through immediately, and I tell some of these dudes too. It's like, hey, you know what? When it comes down to it, I first of all, I ain't a gangster. I ain't a thug. You know, I'm not. I don't act like a tough guy. Am I tough? I could deal with it. Yeah, I could take it, but I don't go out there with that attitude. I don't go out there like, oh, I'm ready to fucking, you know, oh, look at me. I'm going to stay in the corner and fucking sit. That's not me. That's not me, and I will give you multiple warnings to knock it off.
Oh, yeah.
I will tell you.
If I'm out and about, I just want to fucking have fun and fucking relax.
Right, right. I don't go out to the fucking local fucking bar and grill to get into a fight.
No.
That's not my plan. When I walk out of the house Friday or Saturday night, which is very rare for me to do this, but when I go out there, it's not going like, you know what? Let's go to a bar and fucking fight tonight. Yeah. Like, that's what I'm going to do. That's not my plan to go out there. But if you are a dick, I will hit you. I will do it.
If you're a dick and you push it, even after multiple warnings, then all right. Yeah, I get it.
I had my procedure on a Thursday. That Saturday, dealing with a dude. I'm not a big drinker. You know that too. I'm out, have a couple of beers. That's it. I'm out. This dude's acting like a dick. I keep telling him, knock it off, knock it off, knock it off. Don't do that. Don't call that girl a name. She's a lady. Don't act like that. And then at the end of the night, I went, hey, dude, you're drunk. I'll come talk to you during the week. And I had to go talk to him during the week. And I talked to him during the week, and he said something stupid and got an open hand. But the thing is, I told you don't do that. I told you to stop. I told you not to act like a jerk, and you continue to act like a jerk. And what I can't stand too is don't act like a jerk to a female who isn't doing anything on purpose.
Yep.
Don't disrespect my lady. Don't disrespect the girl I'm talking to. You know, she's not being an asshole. You're being an asshole. Don't do that. She's a woman. You know, and a lot of that's been lost, I think, nowadays too. And that it's that same thing. There's just no respect. And
well, especially like
a lot of it
in your situation, your chick was, you know, I don't know if she still is, but at that time she was a bartender, and you know,
yeah, she was. Yeah.
Those, you know.
Yeah,
that chick is just at work. Leave her alone. You know what I mean?
Right.
She's at work. Leave her alone.
and I understood when she was doing that. I understood, like, that's what you got. You know, that's how you make your money. You know, I mean, shit. That's how I met her. Some dude's gonna ask her out. I'm not gonna get mad. I mean, the dude just made an attempt. He don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if I'm out there sitting with her and you're gonna be a dick, or someone's gonna call her a name or something, that you know, now you're kind of pushing the limit. And the thing is too, it's like, you know, you're told not to do it, and you're told just act accordingly. But nowadays, you know, people say it. People are just getting too fucking comfortable because no one's getting hit. Because if you hit somebody, I'll just call the cops. I'll just call the cops. I'll just call the cops. Well, I mean, you know
what's sad though is even if they don't call the cops, someone around filmed it and is calling the cops. Yeah, it's like, come on.
Right. But you know, just another little PSA to throw out there. Lately, with this COVID shit and the fucking defunding the police, cops ain't really working that hard. So watch them out.
Yeah. They ain't gonna be so quick to respond to your call. You know?
No. I spoke to one not too long ago over something, and he went, just go in the house.
I don't really want to do this paperwork. We're defunded to a certain extent. I'm not getting overtime.
He in his words, where it's a catch and release program.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, still, it comes with the territory, I guess. Fuck it.
Well, yeah, man, I'm stoked that, at least, like, and we know other dudes that got shops, but, like, I love that we both have, like, very old school style shops and trying to keep that tradition going. And I get excited when I see, like, there's some dudes around me that got shops that, I feel like are the same type of thing. And like, definitely shout out to Easy Company and them dudes, like in Worcester, like, they got some their shit going on up there. And it's cool to see, like, younger dudes doing some like old school like shop stuff and I hope it keeps going. I know it always will to some extent, you know what I mean? And it's the same thing with the tattoo world, man. Like, tattoo shops used to be fucking pirates then. Now it's like fucking going into like fucking Hot Topic in the mall or something, like, and it's like and if you're a little grumpy, people get all upset and they're like, "Oh, I can't believe you." So you're in a fucking tattoo shop, fucking asshole, you know what I mean? Like, you're not in a fucking
I'm just a collector of artwork.
Yeah. And it's like, whatever, you know what I mean? But there'll be shops that cater to this ain't the shop for you. There's a shop down the road that or wherever that'll be more your lane, and maybe you should go check them out. And they'll
that's the same thing here. There's guys that I've had customers that come here and they were happy with the work, but they didn't come back because they didn't like one thing or another. And again, it's not like you walk in here and there's a fucking bar fight going on and naked girls dancing around it.
Yeah, but that's what's
just in here working.
But you know how people are, and when it's people talking on the street, that's what it turns into. Like, oh man, blah blah blah. Right. People who never even step foot in your shop are like saying that it's a fucking Animal House or whatever.
I've heard the rumors. I've been places where someone's either straight out asked me or told me they've heard, and it's funny, we laugh about it, and in a way it's like, cool, yeah, if that's the reputation and that's what you heard. But I'm like, seriously, dude, do you think I'd run a business if it was just like a bare knuckle fight in the fucking parking lot every night? Like, that's not how it goes down. It's not like a person walks in and goes, oh, I need my tire changed, and I jump up and punch them in the head. Like that's not what it is. We don't have like 15 underfed pit bulls pulling at chains and fucking guns and everything. Yeah. It's not like that. It goes out there, and like I said, we get our share of club traffic too. So that sometimes that bugs people out. But I'm going, dude, it's the same thing. These guys are not coming in here with loaded machine guns and shooting the place up, all night and yelling. It's not like the scene from Dusk Till Dawn at that bar. That's not You know what I'm saying? That's not the shop. We're really in here working and enjoying ourselves, and we really do have a passion to build great motorcycles. And it's the one thing I love to see more than anything is when a customer walks in and they see their bike and their fucking face breaks out in the biggest smile, and they're just happy as fuck to like, oh, dude, this is exactly what I was thinking, and get on that bike and they fire it up like, you do an exhaust system on a bike, you do cams in a bike, and someone fires it up and they hear that noise, and it's just, you see them look at you with this huge smile. Yeah. That's what makes our day. That's the greatest fucking thing ever.
Absolutely. 100%.
Is to see that, and to have, like I was saying before, when that customer comes back and you go, how is it? Or you get that text later on like, dude, fuck, man, this fucking thing runs so great. I'm so happy. Or they come in the next time and say, this runs great. What can we do next? And it's like, that's what I like to see. That's what keeps me going. That's what makes me want to come back in here is that, and even that amongst ourselves. I mean, we drag one of our own bikes in here and do something, and everyone stands around it. We did a pipe in here. I went and got it. It was stainless. I got it polished, and I got a chrome swing arm, and I threw it on my bike. And it's so fucking stupid. But you got fucking 3 or 4 adult males standing there going like, "Oh man, I think you fucking did. Yeah, this looks fucking bad. Oh man, look at the way that fucking thing. Oh shit, that fucking pipe. And here's 3 guys ready to jerk off on your bike. But that's the best part of it. That's the best part of the whole thing is like just standing back and looking at it. Or even I do this every once in a while. Hear Sam talking about something like Sam just picked up a brand new 2020 Lowrider S, and we were looking at things that we could change. Like, oh, it's a brand new bike, and Harley kind of nailed it, but this, that. and I found they had a fucking black hardware kit, So I scoop up the black hardware kit and start changing bolts on his bike, and this kid's just fucking ear to ear smile. Dude, this thing looks so fucking badass. Check this out. People giving compliments. That's the whole. That's why I do this.
Yeah.
That's the whole part of it, man. Just to build cool shit. I mean, we get to build cool shit every day.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And you know what? And I tell guys, even when it's not a glorious job or like a bike that you like, it's like you know the love you have for your own motorcycle.
Give it to that one.
Some dude, maybe it's not your style bike, but has that same love for that bike. And if you can make that love even stronger, or like that dude even more into his bike, even though it's like a bike you could give a fuck less about, like
he loves it. Yeah,
they love it. Like that's the attention that we, that's what we try and keep in mind when it's like, oh boy, another fucking set of handlebars on a street glide, whatever. But it's like, you know what? That's that dude. Like literally the other day, I was like fucking stressed, and I had like 4 people in line. The days the phone just keeps ringing with fucking people like asking me for scooter tires or fucking whatever, like CB750 parts and whatever. And it's just everything we don't do. I'm getting like these calls, and it was like everyone came in at once, and there was one dude that was picking up his bike, and it was like all we did was a bar job, and like he kept like he's always like a low key guy. And like, like the 2 times I met him, he's like a super low key guy, quiet kid. And he just kept like, he was looking down, and then he just kept grinning like ear to ear, ear to ear. And I was like, what's up, man? He's like, dude, I can't even believe the fucking bike. It looks so fucking awesome. I can't stop fucking smiling. Yep. I'm all excited. And I was like, holy fuck. And that broke me right the fuck out of it. And I was like, fuck yeah, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Fuck yeah, dude. I'm so stoked that you're that stoked. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And I go back to the guys. I'm like, dude, this dude was fucking grinning ear to ear. Like fucking, he couldn't even contain it. It was just his bars. He was that excited. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
That's the stuff. I'll be honest. I don't think we've really ever had a customer really leave here dissatisfied with something we did. They may balk at the price, or not be happy with how someone. But I don't think I've seen anyone ever leave here and be like, I hate the way my bike looks.
No,
or I hate the way my bike rides. We have had a couple of companies, because I have a few customers who have a name where they threw us apart and said, here, throw this on so and so's bike. I mean, I had Shane. We threw an exhaust from a certain company on his bike, and Shane rode home, and he came back the next morning and said, put my thunder header back on. I hate this, but that we're trying something out.
Yeah, sure.
We weren't.
That was a little R&D.
We weren't doing it. Yeah, and that's all it was. But I mean, 9 times out of 10. Everyone who's left here has been happy with what they have, but it's those times, like you said, it's those times where you do either a full makeover, or you just do that one. Handlebars will make or break a bike. Handlebars, an exhaust pipe, a seat, like shit like that. And it's simple, like you said, it's changing a set of handlebars or putting a seat on a bike, and these dudes roll up like, fuck. I got a dude now whose sports have been here. It was actually dropped off here the day after 2 days after the first fucking quarantine out here. And he literally told me he came here with a primary leak. I knew he was coming here just for that. And the shop had just gotten slow. And that's one of those days where you're sweating it. You're like, fuck, what's going to go on? And this dude pulled up, and I went out there, and I go, yeah, primary leak, huh? And he goes, yeah. And I've worked on his roommate's bike. And he goes, yeah, primary leak. It was a Sportster. It's a Roadster dual disc bike. Looks cool. He's like, yeah. But here's the deal. A car pulls up to pick him up, and he goes, here's the deal, man. He goes, let's call this phase 1. He goes, I got $3,000 to drop. Make it look cool. And I went, what? And he goes, yeah. I said, well, what do you want to do? He goes, well, what do I want to do? I want to get in this car right now. You call me when it's done. And I went,
I wish I could have one of those dudes every day. Just like,
right? I go, that's it. He goes, yeah. And he fucking left, and we've been fucking back and forth with his bike. Unfortunately, as well as I do, and maybe this will reach out to some of the customers that are listening. Like, we have no control over back-ordered parts. We have no control over when shit gets here. And right now, shipping and parts fucking suck with this whole COVID shit. But, bear with us. We will get your shit in, and we will get your bike done. This kid, I sent him a picture with just waiting on his seat. We did everything else. This motherfucker is beside himself, and he actually turned around and went, Nick, you know what? I came up with a little bit more money. Let's go right into phase 2. Keep the bike there. Let's start doing the powder coat. Let's start getting this done. I mean, just for someone to say, do it. You know, I saw bikes you did. They look cool. Just make my bike cool.
Fuck yeah, like, man.
Fuck yeah. And that's the best, you know?
And that's what, you know, like with anything, man, whether it's motorcycles or tattoos, when you get involved in custom shit, if you're going to someone because you like what they do and you're familiar,
let them do it.
Just come in with come in with your amount that you want to spend and let us fucking do it, because you're going to get way more for it than you would if you were piecing and forming in the job, you know what I mean? And it's like, motherfucker, you came to me because you like what we do. Let us do what we do, because the shit you're asking for right now isn't what we do, because you don't know the process, and it's not anything against you, but like if you come with $3,000, I guarantee you're getting like $4 or $5,000 worth of work. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh. I was just going to say, these guys don't realize it. And again, like you said before, maybe I shouldn't have put it out there, but you know, that bike, for instance, or a couple other ones, I'm a bit of a fucking clean freak when it comes to things. If I have to remove your gas tank to do something, your bike's going to be cleaner than it's ever been. I will wax the backbone of a bike because this way the dirt don't stick to it. I will soak your engine if it's black in fucking S100 engine brightener. Your bike will not leave here with a fucking fingerprint on it. My guys go through, I can't tell you how many gallons of fucking Meguiar's waterless wash.
Oh, yeah. That shit ain't cheap.
Every bike. No, it's not cheap, but it smells nice, and it keeps the shop fresh. We go through gallons of that shit. Every bike leaves here wiped down. Even when guys will be like, hey, man, you don't have to wipe that down. Your bike's leaving here clean. For 2 reasons. One, I don't want my fucking fingerprints on anything because I don't know what you crazy motherfuckers are doing when you leave my shop, and I don't want to be a part of it. And number two is you don't want my fingerprints on a fucking bike because you don't know what I've been involved in. And I got to take a picture of your fucking bike, so I don't want it looking all dirty and shitty. And I like bikes leaving here clean. If you want to go ride through the mud after you leave here, that's cool. Your bike is getting wiped down when it was here, and it's getting taken care of, like you said earlier. And we say the same thing. Maybe it's not your favorite bike. Maybe it's not the nicest bike. Maybe it's not the cleanest bike. Let's all face it. At the end of the day, it's a fucking Harley Davidson. We know they're not cheap. Yep. We know whoever owns this bike is busting his ass to fucking do what he wants to do to it. And this is his love and passion. Treat it as if it was your own, and let it go out here looking like you would want your bike to look. You know, that's the way I look at all of them. And if I got to take your bike apart, I'm waxing it and I'm cleaning it, and I'm popping the fucking fender struts off and I'm cleaning underneath there too, where things probably haven't been cleaned before. I'll get in those gritty places. That bike will leave here looking nice, and I know, because I know the customer loves that bike just as much as I love my own, and I'm not going to fucking fuck it up for no reason. I've seen idiots working on bikes do that. Like, oh fuck, this thing's a piece of shit. Who gives a stuff? You know what? To the guy who owns it, it's not a piece of shit. To the guy who owns it, he likes it. You know, he loves that bike. So treat it as so, and give him the best you would give anybody else, because that dude in the long run is probably going to spend a shit ton of fucking money with you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're going to come back and get a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. And one day you're going to look back in your wreckage and you're going to go, holy shit, this dude spent fucking $7,500 on that little sports stuff. Yeah, because he loves that bike. You know, he loves it, and he's going to spend the time and the money in it, you know?
No, and we do the same thing, man. We make sure we clean or wipe down like every bike.
Oh, yeah.
As much, I mean, sometimes I'm sure one's falling through the cracks here or there or whatever, but we always try and do that, because it's just a little extra. Like, you come pick up your bike, you know, you brought it to a shop. It's just our way to like, hey, thank you, man. Look, we respect your bike. Like, we want it leaving looking fucking good, dude. Like, when you pull out of here, we want you to be fucking stoked, man. And then sometimes people like, oh shit, like, I didn't, you know, like because
people bug out on it.
Yeah, and it's like
people bug out.
Oh shit, it looks like a brand new bike, and it's like, well, you know, like you know, it's just whatever, man. We just want you to be stoked when you leave, dude. Like, you know, and it's like that little extra thing. Someone comes in for like a fucking, you know, 2-hour job, but then they leave with almost a detail as well, and it's like, fuck yeah, man, they're all stoked, you know. And it's like, even if they don't even comprehend it, like, they know something looks different with the bike, you know what I mean? Like, or if they acknowledge it subconsciously, like, oh shit, yeah, my bike looking good, like they might not even realize it, but because we don't tout it and be like, hey, and we cleaned your bike, it's just more like, hey, your bike's ready, it's out back, go get it, and
Yep.
and that's the little shit. That's just because you give a fuck, you know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
you don't got to
Exactly.
do it. It's not time you charge for and nothing. And it's just, a lot of places don't do that. It's just like, oh,
Yeah.
here's your thing, and you got to give a fuck about what you're doing, man. Like, and that's what it comes down to, man. If you don't, then it's time to move on to something else, man.
Yeah, go find something you do give a fuck about. Get out of here.
Yeah, yeah, and sell us all your shit cheap, fucking.
Yeah.
When you get out.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You don't need them lifts anymore. You don't give a fuck. Give me that lift.
Yeah, exactly, man. Fucking, it's crazy too, dude. Like, and it's, I don't know. It's weird though. Like, it's funny because you said like your boy come and he's got like the snap-on toolbox. I haven't been able to do that yet, man. I still got cheap ass boxes, bro. Like, I'll have good tools. Like, I got Mac tools or whatever, and just whatever. Like, we got the Mac and snap-on guys. I just like, to me, it's like a box is a box, man. Like, it's like if I, that $5,000 I could spend on a lot of other shit for the shop. You're
right. You're 100% right. I did it. Dude, I can't tell you. Since I was in New York, I moved out here with that $150 fucking Harbor Freight box. I moved with it. I have two of them still in my shop. I keep a toolbox in my shop because of how this shop was, like I said. And we get a lot of people that pop in. We have some knowledgeable friends or actual even customers who may pop in here when we're busy and be like, hey, can I just fucking do this real quick on my bike? And I mean, Chris Harper, Chris, Black Chris.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Dude's
like
awesome.
that. Chris is a good dude. He worked in the hot rod industry. He's a barber now, but he knows his bike. So he might be around on a Tuesday and pop in here and be like, hey man, I got to do a fucking oil change. Here's a free lift, and I have a toolbox in here that's full. It's a Harbor Freight toolbox full of Harbor Freight tools, but it's for anyone. It's the community box.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You got to work on your bike. Go ahead. I mean, my box makes me money. I can't, risk lending tools out.
No. Especially if you got good tools too. Like,
Right. Well, yeah. So the Snap-on guy came at one point, and I was in a good financial place. It was a couple of years ago. I was doing really well at the time, and I was like, you know what? I want a good fucking toolbox. And I told the dude on the truck, I said, let's not bullshit around. What is your bottom line on this fucking price? I know you can buy my $150 toolbox for $5,000 and take it off the price of this box. So how about we just take the $5,000 off the fucking box? And we bargained, and we got down to a price that I thought was reasonable, and I bought that box. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice, man.
Oh yeah. No, I know. I mean, I don't get the
chrome
Harbor
wheels on
Freight.
that
I got better than Harbor Freight. I just don't got a Snap-on box.
Yeah, I know. I just bought the box, and when Sam was working here, he came into a little bit of money, and the dude on the Snap-on truck, they had a deal going. It was a display box. It came with a roller. It came with $2,000 of tools off the truck.
Oh, cool.
So he was like, "Fuck, I'm going to do this." Oh yeah, not only that, they unload the fucking box, and the guy goes, "Oh, I have the top. I have to get it at my house." So he leaves with the truck. Sam goes, "Hey, can you come out here for a minute?" I go, "What's up?" We were out in the parking lot, and he opens up the drawers of the box. They never cleaned the box out as a display box, and it was like probably another $3,000 worth of fucking tools in the box. Yeah. I go, start taking that shit and put it in the back room. This guy comes back and pops the drawer. So yeah, so he made out like a fucking bandit, but this sounds a little fucked up and it sounds a little corny, but you probably see it too. I get a couple of customers that walk in and they're like, "Oh, Snap-on box," and that makes them feel comfortable for some reason.
Yeah.
And not that that's the reason I bought it. I wanted to treat myself a little bit, and that's why I got it. But it's funny. It's funny how they come in and it worked out that me and Sam have the same box, just different colors. But people, ooh, look, you got Snap-on boxes, and they think because of that it's a better shop. But whatever, it's like, hey, if that's going to help, that's fine. But yeah, I treated myself, and it took me a little bit to fucking to get that bill paid off. But It is nice. I have the Epic series with the fucking chrome wheels on it and the whole shit. I'm set up.
Fuck yeah,
Stainless
man.
steel top, the whole nine.
Did it come with a pimp chalice?
Yeah. It should have. It should have came with someone that come in here and fucking pull my dick every once in a while too. But that and there are tools. Yeah, there are tools that I grab off that truck too because. You just need good tools,
No, absolutely. Yeah, we don't skimp out on tools. We don't skimp out on tools. I just like the box. I'm like, it's just a tough shot. I'm like, I got a box, everything sitting in it. Like, if it ever fucks up, I'll fucking, We got a Mac guy and a Snap-on guy, and I don't know, fucking. Now you got me feeling all inadequate. Like I gotta go have a fucking fancy box.
I mean, come on, man. How could you be my mentor and I have a better toolbox than you?
Dude, well, but dude, yeah, I know, dude. And you know what the best thing about those trucks are? Like it's crazy, man. Like even the electric, like the cordless drills and shit. Like, yeah, it's like people don't realize this. Like, there's like the Milwaukee or the DeWalt thing you get off the truck is a different grade than the one you go buy at Home Depot. There's like a commercial grade. Even like my lawn tractor, like I have a John Deere for my lawn, but I have like the real John Deere from like not the Home Depot. Yeah. Because they make them with cheaper components. It still says John Deere on it. It is still a John Deere, but like the box stores want things at a cheaper price so they can still make their profit on it. So like they make a commercial versus like a store version. And so the shit you get, like, dude, I got a Milwaukee drill off the fucking Mac guy, and I'm like, how the fuck did I ever go without this fucking thing, dude? Like it's like I'm like drilling holes. I like I make a bunch of aluminum oil tanks, and I'm just fucking hole sawing right fucking through them like nothing, like fucking butter, dude. And I'm like, fuck, dude, this is so much different than the one I had before, and it's like,
and that's a whole other. It's a whole other thing, again, with guys, I had a dude come in here. He wanted to apprentice here, right? And I got my tools. I've been doing this my whole life. And I went, all right. I go, before you bring your tools in here, because I don't know how much room we have, let's see what you know. And he came in here, and this dude he didn't do this his whole life. I think he just started an hour after he tried to get here. And when he brought his tools in, it was, granted, it was his tools, but it was one of those little boxes you buy at Lowe's, like, full of those Cobalt tools or something. And that's fine. Dude, at least you had something, I know what you're getting at. But what people don't understand is it just in tools alone, there's a shop by us that a couple of years ago got robbed. That dude, out of two top drawers of two toolboxes, lost over $170,000.
Oh yeah,
just the two top drawers. You don't realize in specialty tools alone. Yeah, and you want to, guys, but I'll do this cam job on myself. Yeah, you got that bearing puller?
Yeah,
I'll go buy
exactly.
One. And then they're like, oh, dude, the gym's tool is like $600. Yeah, exactly. $600. Exactly. You're going to do one job? Yeah, no. And then they wonder why. Well, can I borrow yours? Fuck no.
Oh, hell no, dude.
Borrowing shit from me, dude.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. But it's crazy. I mean, what you're going to spend in tools alone, that was, when I was doing it in my garage, I had a little 4.5-inch grinder and a fucking Hobart MIG welder. And, you could build a little chopper. Cool, yeah. Not doing the shit we do now. I mean, fuck, Ari's got a CNC'd fucking frame jig, and we got a fucking tracer machine that was like one step under CNC. And
I'm so jealous. I tell everybody about that fucking tracer machine. I'm like, I want one. I don't even fucking know what it's called. It was like the precursor to the CNC, and I was like, you fucking draw it like with a fucking pencil, and it fucking you trace something, and it fucking cuts it the fuck out, man. Like I'm like,
yeah, it's the best thing. I mean,
for making brackets and dumb shit, man. Like,
anything, tabs, that's one of the things that set us different and it's different about our shop. Like I said, there's a lot of motorcycle shops around here, and I work hand in hand with a lot of shops. I'm not putting anybody down. I mean, shit, we go back. There's a shop right on the back side of me. We share the same fucking wall. I mean, we share accounts. We do different things together.
Yeah.
Our shop, which makes our shop a little different, that this is a full fabrication performance shop. You come in here, you want something done to your bike, we can do pretty much anything. We make our handlebars. And when I say we, I'm talking about me and Ari. Even though we're separate entities, I speak of us as one because we share the roof and we do a lot of things hand in hand. We make our own handlebars. Ari makes handlebars. Ari makes frames. I mean, for whatever it is, either do a repair or to build a frame. We could do that all in-house. You want a custom bracket? We make it. I mean, I do. Yeah. I can't tell you how many chopped thunderheaders and custom brackets. And again, I mean, if one or two of them came back with a crack, and that's because these dudes beat the living shit out of these bikes, and then we'll fix it. I stand behind everything I do here. I mean, I'm the captain of the ship. I go down with it. But I mean, we make our own MX bars in stainless steel or mild steel. We make our own fucking exhaust pipes. You got a pipe, you got a part off of this bike, and you really want it on that bike, and they don't make it. We can make it work.
Yep.
And it's what sets us different than other shops is. You go into another shop, and it's what they do. Great. I'm not putting anybody down. You want a part for that bike? It's a 2009 FXDB, and, Drag Specialties has this part, or fucking Hard Drive has this part. That's cool. But you get a guy who says, man, I had this on my other bike. I love this fucking part. They just don't make it for my year. Why? Oh, because the fender's a little wider, or this is a little different. Okay, fine. Fuck, let's cut it here. Weld this. Let's make this. Or shit, I'll cut out a whole new bracket. We could drill a hole here. And again, customers are like, wait, what? I went to 3 other shops and they couldn't do it. And I go, it doesn't mean the shop is bad. It's just we have the capacity, the advantage. Yeah, the advantage and the capacity to do this. I mean, fuck. Ari came out of the off-road industry. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. That motherfucker is the best motorcycle fabricator you're going to see in this day and age. The dude's a fucking badass. Not only can he fucking weld and put things together, we joke around and we joke in the shop, and it's like, if you need something made or you want something, customized, I go, just put it on Ari's table. And Ari will come in, he'll be working on something and be like, what's this? And we're like, oh, we were talking about it before. We needed to fix that, fit this. And he'll put it down. But if it's sitting on his table long enough, he starts thinking, he walks over. So what's it got to fit? This motherfucker can do it every time. He's got that brain. That's the way he works. Fuck, bend me up these handlebars. Motherfucker nails it every time. I've never handed something back to him and say, no, this isn't what I was talking about. We have that capacity to do that here.
Yeah.
If somebody comes in here and wants something, if I can't figure it out, I guarantee that motherfucker figure it out, or we'll figure it out together.
Yep.
And it's outrageous. And we're just the 3 of us, me, him, and Sam. We sat here and like I said, we have a whole nother fucking shop full of parts and storage. And we said, man, let's collaborate and build a bike. And we're going to build a shop bike. The 3 of us. Who's pitching in on this? Who's pitching in on that? And I can't wait to get it cracking because it's like. We got 3 different minds that are coming together, and Ari's going to do a bunch of fabrication and some work on the tins, and Sam's going to build the motor and tranny, and he got things, he's got to hook up with his uncle at the cryo heat, and everything's going to be fucking micro polished and cryo heated, and the motor's going to run cooler, and, it's just going to be a badass thing. And I mean, guys like Bare Knuckle Paul reached out and he's like, hey man, I want to see one of my parts on this bike. Like, here's my narrow glide 49 millimeter front end. Throw this on this fucking FXR. Let's see it get badass. And a couple dudes reaching out and throwing a part here and there. And we're gonna do this fucking this badass bike, but it's gonna be cool to have 3 minds sitting here going, well, let's try this, let's try that, let's try this.
Because you some shit'll come up like organically, like that's bounced around between you that maybe one person by themselves wouldn't have thought of,
right,
because you got the seed of an idea and someone fucking was like, oh yeah, but this, and then it's like, oh shit, yeah, and then blah blah blah. And that's the fun part of shit, man, for sure.
That's the great part of it. And again going back, and we've touched on it a million times, but it's we got Sam involved. So here we got this young cat who's amped. He's fucking amped, and he's on my ass more than anything. Hey man, we're gonna start on that FXR build. We're gonna start. I brought the whole transmission. I brought all the gears and the flywheels and everything to fucking cryo heat. Let's get cracking on this. Let's get started. And he found something the other day. He was upstairs in the loft the other day, and he goes, dude, look what I found. And I'm like, what about it? He's like, let's use it on the FXR build. Handed it me down real quick. And so it's cool to see, how fired up he is about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That's good energy, man. Good energy.
Yeah, that's good. And just, not that you ever get Ari that excited, but you could see the excitement in a different way from him. Hey, we're going to do this build. And he goes, all right, cool. He's excited.
Yeah. He acknowledges it, which means he's into it.
Yes. And he said it was cool, so it's going to be good. And every once in a while, you get a laugh out of him, and something's going in the right direction.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. Well, fuck,
but
dude.
Yeah,
good.
It's good, man. Yeah, I mean, all in all, man, it's been a wild ride out here, but fuck, I would never fucking trade this in for anything. It's been fucking insane, and it's been fun, and it's a great life to live, man. I'm fucking having a blast, and I'm just living it up and doing my thing out here in California.
Fuck yeah, man. What is there any are you guys like how's it going, like I guess like with the COVID shit, is shit starting to open there again, or are you guys
they opened it, and then they just were on I guess this is going to be our second quarantine. They've closed certain things, like, but I'll tell you what, I mean, the governor of this state is a fucking jerk off. This Gavin Newsom dude, he is a fucking asshole. And I don't know if he'll ever listen to your podcast, but if he does, you know where I'm at, motherfucker. You are a fucking retard. I mean, dumb shit like, I'm closing all the bars because there's been a rise between the 20 and 40-year-old age limit, but this motherfucker owns two wine tasting places, and they're open.
Sure, of course,
and they're booked for months. Of course, that same political bullshit. But a couple of people down here, like in San Diego alone, and there's been a couple of people trying to help the small businesses. Like they wanted to close the barbershops again, and the whole. I'm not too hip on that industry, but I guess the state law is they can't cut hair outside. But a couple of these I don't know if it was the mayor out here or just down in San Diego, but someone turned around and said, "Hey, let's set up some tents and let these guys cut hair." So they got barbershops that are cutting hair outside it, and they're letting the bars throw out onto the sidewalk. So all the bars are open with tents over their parking lots, or restaurants in the parking lot. Me and V went out to eat the other night at a place local by us, the Flying Pig, and it's all outdoor, and it's funny that they're booking their fucking ocean view tables. It's because out on the corner is a table that you can see right over the train tracks and see the water, but they're doing that, and I give it up. My gym, Metroflex in Oceanside, the guy who owns it, this guy is Louis Uradell. Fucking dude, man. He don't back down to nothing. Smart ass dude. He fucking figured out he's no longer a gym. He's a wellness center. They closed the gyms, but the wellness centers are still allowed to be open. And, you have a certain capacity per square footage, and he's keeping it to that. And he's keeping his gym open, and he's keeping his gym running. And the motherfucker went away once in cuffs already. And he's not afraid to do it again. And people are falling in line with him. And there's a bunch of gyms. There was a gym out by you guys in Massachusetts who went with it. And Jersey, there was just a guy arrested in Jersey for opening his gym and keeping it open. But it's weird. I'll tell you this much from my own perspective. I put myself out there as a pretty resilient guy. I could deal with quite a bit, and I don't let shit really bother me. But I will say this: I walk into a fucking 7-Eleven and I get thrown out for not wearing a mask, or if I walk into a store and everyone's wearing masks, it's kind of fucked up. It fucks with you, and you know me a long time, and you know how I feel about most of this shit, and I don't get too political, but this is bullshit. This is bullshit.
Well, what you said, people getting arrested for opening their own businesses.
Opening their business.
No, fuck that. That's like, I don't care where you stand on the COVID thing or the mask thing, or not you, but I mean people in general.
Right. In general.
Like, you cannot let the government forcibly shut down fucking small businesses when all these other businesses are still open. Like, the small mom and pop fucking whatever shouldn't be shut down when Walmart's open, or the bar shouldn't be shut down when the fucking wine tasting fucking center's open, or the the gym shouldn't be shut down when the quote unquote wellness center is fucking open, or the bar shouldn't be shut down when restaurants can open. And it's like the only difference is like that one serves food and alcohol and one just serves alcohol. It's so crazy that it's such bullshit, and it's such a fucking, I forgot, I'm so aggravated right now that I forget the word, but it's so like oxymoronic. Like it's like you can't see through the bullshit of this. Like certain people are profiting off this, and whether it's just government bureaucratic ineptness or if it's something more sketchy, like neither is fucking acceptable, and people should say fuck you to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, you're not shutting me down, motherfucker. Fuck you. Like, I pay my taxes, I pay my mortgage, I pay this and that. Like, fuck you, dude. And I don't want your fucking handouts. Like, I want my fucking business, you know? Like, crazy.
When they did the first quarantine here, right? So me and my buddy Sean was sitting in the shop. It was about 3-4 o'clock right before we left, right? I had everything pushed in, had the roll up doors down. And our door was shut, but it's glass, you know, and a fucking sheriff rolled through the parking lot, which again, because we're back here, isn't that odd, but they haven't been around here for a while. The sheriff rolled by and then backed up and got closer to the door, and from her truck peered in the door. And I looked at Sean and I went, something's up. They don't do that. You know, she's taking attendance. What the fuck's going on? And sure enough, I go home that night and I see on the news they're doing this fucking shutdown, but they're leaving open the essential businesses, right?
Yeah.
And I laughed because I said, "Ha, motherfuckers! You made me go through all this fucking paperwork and all this bullshit and spend all this money. I'm automotive repair. I'm essential. Kiss my fucking ass. I'm going to work." And I came into work the next day, and sure as fucking shit, I told Sean on the phone. I go, "Remember that shit last night?" He goes, "Yeah, man, I believe it." I go, "They're going to be back today." That bitch pulled up, and she walked her ass in my door, and I went, "Essential business?" And she went, "Excuse me?" I said, "I'm an essential business." And she goes, "Prove it." And I gave her my license. I go, "Automotive repair." I said, "Some people only have motorcycles as form of transportation, so now you can leave." And she did. She walked out. And I got pulled over twice during this fucking quarantine. And both times I got pulled over was the weirdest fucking traffic stops ever. The first question they asked me usually is, you know how fast you were going, or what do you do? Was, what do you do for a living? And I went, you motherfuckers, man, you're fucking pulling me over because I'm leaving work. And I go, this is fucking nuts. This is crazy. And again, I'll give it to them. Both times cops were cool, no tickets. You know, they weren't looking to do anything other than to figure it out. But I go, you're really going to fucking give somebody a ticket or arrest somebody because they're not a so-called essential worker? You're going to tell me I can't leave my own house? Fuck that.
Yeah.
You know, this is bullshit. And the mask thing, you know, hey, if you want to fall into that shit and you want to believe that shit, and you think that's really going to fucking solve your problems, cool. But I got rights too. And not only do I got rights, I got an underlying fucking health illness. I can't have restricted oxygen to my fucking heart. It doesn't work very well. You know what I'm saying? I got congestive heart failure. So kiss my ass and due to fucking federal acts and HIPAA law, I don't have to tell you what my underlying fucking illness is. And, you know, I don't have to wear a fucking mask, and there's no federal mandate stating I do. So, you know, I will in these little stores. If someone throws me out because of that, I will leave. I don't give you. It's up to you. If that's the way you feel and that's the way you want to run your business, that's fine. I'm not going to argue with you. You know, people are scared, people are frightened. That's fine.
Yeah.
But these big stores, fuck them. And the funny thing is, I don't know if you just saw. I just saw 2 days ago. Lowe's, Home Depot, CVS, Walgreens, and I think Target. There were a couple of stores. They've all retracted their mandatory mask shit because now people are fucking fighting back, and a couple of the employees are saying, "Hey, I'm not going to fucking be the mask police and fight some fucking angry, hostile fucking customer." You know, so that they're all saying now they will not throw you out for not wearing a mask. You know, and I walked into fucking Walmart right in the beginning to pick up my prescriptions, and they would not allow me in for the first fucking month. I had to have my prescriptions mailed to me because they wouldn't let me in Walmart without a mask.
That's crazy, yeah.
And I have to get my prescriptions. We don't care. And I said, oh, okay. And they said, call the pharmacy. And the pharmacy had to had to mail shit to you for free. It was free shipping, but they had to mail shit to you. And I'm going, this is such a fucking jerk-off community. And here's the funny one for you. I went out and bought a mask, Duck Down Records. They got a shut the fuck up mask with the big P with the exclamation point for Sean Price.
Yeah.
And I ordered one from them because, I know it's going to his family. So I have a mask that says shut the fuck up on the front. Wore it in the post office. No one says a word, right? Go up to the front, 7-Eleven, the kid laughed at it. Walk into fucking the Harley Davidson dealership. Oh, you're trying to make a statement. I turned around to the girl. I said, can you read my fucking mask? She got all pissed off. I was like, there we go again, just like we were saying before. Fucking, I'm a big, bad, tough fucking Harley Davidson dealership biker, blah, blah, blah. Oh, your mask has a curse on it.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And, and in the words of Sean Price, shut the fuck up. That's it. It's like, to me, it's bullshit. Unfortunately, I have to do it in certain circumstances because, I can't not mail something. I have to go in the fucking post office, and that's federal, and they flip the fuck out. And, but this whole thing, I mean, it's a weird thing. We were California. When I say the state of California, I think was a little bit more laid back, believe it or not, than like say New York. I think New York was like fucking insane, but you got people living on top of each other. I don't believe any of the numbers. I really don't. I think it's all bullshit when they start throwing these numbers out there of positive tests and whatnot, because how many have we heard now? What were there? 600,000 fucking military people that were falsely tested positive. Yeah.
Well, the crazy thing now is too, they're like, you can test positive if you've had any of these other COVID-related things, including the common cold. I'm like, okay, motherfucker. What?
Including a flu shot. A flu shot that they administered to me when I was in the hospital and then told me I had to go get a COVID test and said to me, if I test positive, I can't have my procedure. I just heard some dude's wife bought she bought these COVID tests. You could buy them, and she opened the packages, didn't administer one, opened the package and shipped them back to have them tested. They all tested positive. Not one of them was used.
That's crazy.
And also the other craziness is, so you go in and you get a false positive, right? Let's say you get the flu shot, you'll get a test false positive. You say, well, I just had the flu shot. Oh shit, false positive. Okay, yeah. Take this test again. Guess what? That false positive is still on record as a positive.
Oh yeah.
So if you went and had 5 tests and 4 of them were false positive, they're showing 4 results as positive. So of course, and look at Florida. They had what Florida said, they had a 98% rise in positive tests, and then somebody went the decimal point and went, oh, sorry, it was 9.8. That's come on, man. We could, me and you could go on with this for days. But it was, I think it was a little bit more lackadaisical out here than New York, but it is still fucking nutty and it's still freaky. And, people will give you a weird look when you don't have a mask on. And I see idiots driving in fucking convertibles passing my house wearing a mask by themselves. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, you retard?
Yeah, those are the same guys that wear fucking. Yeah, they wear a rubber when they jerk off.
yeah. You fucking might as well shit. But it's like, it's crazy like that,
And the thing is and when you talk about this, well, I knew someone that like, look, no one's ever disrespecting anybody that did get the disease. I know my brother had it, my father, like all kinds of people had it that I know, and they all got better. And and I know I'm lucky. I know some people had people that died, but it's such a minority of people. Like I'm not. It is not taking away from anyone's personal tragedy, but understand your personal tragedy is a very small percentage of what's really going on in the world. And more people die all the time from other shit. And people die from all kinds of shit. So it's like, and I'm not taking away from anyone's fucking death, but guess what, motherfucker? No one gets out of this shit alive. We all fucking die. We're all going to fucking die of something. So fucking, are you going to choose to live in fucking fear and cower and fucking whatever and just let the government tell you what the fuck to do? Or are you going to fucking, and I'm not even saying about masks. If you want to wear a mask, I would never come down on anybody for wearing a mask.
No,
You
certain people
think
should wear a mask. There's a lot of ugly motherfuckers in this world.
But the crazy thing is people putting like fucking shirt sleeves on and fucking bandanas. I'm like, you really think that's going to stop the transmission of a fucking disease? You ever see what a virologist fucking wears, dude? None of these masks are doing that. Like we know a dude that works for UPS, and he got in a fight with his manager because his manager's like, you got to wear a mask while you're at work, and he's like, why? And he's like, well, to prevent the spread of COVID and blah blah blah. And the guy's like, and he's holding the masks, and he's like, these masks, and he's like, the manager's like, yeah. And then you look at the mask on the box of the mask, it says, will not prevent disease or fucking virus stuff. And he's like, I got to wear this to prevent the disease, even though this mask says it doesn't. Yeah, well, it's still policy. You got to do it.
Oh, yeah, all it's doing is calming down the masses. Some dude did a video. He was walking in the store. He had a wire. It looked like off a hockey helmet. It was like a wire mesh mask.
Yeah.
And he said no one said a fucking word to me. He goes, if I took it off, someone said you need to wear a mask. If I put that mask on, no one said a word just because it was something on his face. He goes, it's wire mesh. There's no material or nothing. You could see and hear speak right through it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They gave so when I'm
gonna go get a fencing mask and start walking around.
That's basically what he had. Yeah, there's a fencing place right around the corner. I could get you one from there.
Yeah, well, let's talk.
I was thinking about going there and taking lessons just for the fuck of it. They gave me one of the masks that actually is supposed to work, because I was in the hospital.
Sure, yeah.
And they gave me one of those. I don't know if it worked. I wore it a few times. I wore it on the plane when I had to fly out to New York because they made a big fucking deal because some fucking asshole two couples stood up, started raising fucking hell about it. These guys aren't wearing their masks. Nobody's abiding by the fucking rules. And again, I have an underlying issue. And
no one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that.
No. But I just saw a video now where some guy actually proved that the fucking captain had to come out and he made an announcement. If anybody on this plane feels unsafe, you can get off and leave. They can't federally, because flying is federal. They cannot go against the federal mandate. And that the fact with the HIPAA laws, I don't have to explain to you what I have. But again, I'll tell you what I got. I don't give a fuck. And be honest, from what I'm being told, I don't know if it's true or not. And I just heard from another doctor who said they have something that works even with underlying illnesses, but having congestive heart failure and getting that shit is pretty much a death sentence. But I'm not going to fall for it. I spoke to another guy who has similar issue as me, and he was, you got to wear a mask. This guy just sneezed, and that guy just coughed. Man, if you're going to live your life like that, fuck.
Yeah, is it worth living if you're like that fucking scared? And just No, I get the first couple of weeks we didn't know what was going on. It was a little crazy and it was hyped up. But then once you see that it's, I don't know. It's just, it's not worth getting into anymore. But it was just, I was just checking in, how you doing. But we all know the deal, dude. Like fucking, fucking relax now. Like fucking, live life. Live life. You know what I mean? Like
that's what and again, like I touched on it before. But after everything that's happened to me, I'm gonna go out there and fucking live it. I don't give a fuck. They couldn't kill me with a fucking heart attack and an aneurysm. I don't think this COVID shit's really. I'm not sweating it. Yeah. they gotta come at me way fucking harder. Their artillery gotta get way fucking stronger than this shit.
and my perspective on it too is, and believe me when I say this, I do not have a death wish. Like I'm enjoying life. Like I want to go through it. Like I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to die. I don't have a suicide mission. I don't have a death wish.
Yep.
My view is I'm going to go out and I'm going to do what I do. If I catch COVID and I die from it, it was my time to fucking go, dude. There was nothing I could do to control it. And wearing a fucking shirt sleeve or a bandana around my face wasn't going to stop that. You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
Whatever. I wear the mask when I go into certain stores for the same thing, just out of respect to the people that are working there. They don't want to deal with the bullshit of it. Like, I get it.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't going to go fuck with a dude at his job or a girl at her job. You know, like, whatever. Right. Get in, get out. For the least common, like, just to not raise static. I don't need shit in my life, you know what I mean? But by and large, if I'm out walking around on the street, I ain't wearing that shit. Fuck you, you know what I mean? Like, stay away from me then, you know what I mean? Stay away from me.
Exactly.
Isn't that what social distancing is for, right? You know, like, I'm down with social distancing. Stay the fuck away from me. I'm fine with that, you know what I mean? Like, and I'll stay the fuck away from you, you know? Like,
and you want to know something? This is funny. I got a quick one. It's times like this where you fucking see how stupid people are and how stupidity fucking rises above all.
I know.
I walked into a 7-Eleven. This was kind of in the beginning, and like I said, everybody was kind of bugged out. I walk into a 7-Eleven without a mask on, right? This lady's up at the counter. She's ringing out. She turns around. She double took me hard. And I went, whatever. I know what it's about, you know? She walked outside and waited for me. It's one of those people, right? She's going to give me the lesson, right?
Yep.
So I go up front. I'm ringing out, and the girl at the register goes, "Oh, look, you have someone waiting for you." I said, "Yeah, I know." So I walk out the door, and the woman goes, and the girl from 7-Eleven came out to do the garbage can, right? And the woman goes to me, excuse me. And I kept walking. I kind of ignored her in the beginning. I turned around. I go, "Yeah." She goes, you'd look a lot better with a mask on. And I went, "It's doing wonders for you." And she goes, "What the hell is that supposed to mean?" I said, "Hey, you started with me." I said, "But look, honestly," I said, I don't have to wear a mask. And this is, like I said, this is in the beginning. I go, "I don't have to wear a mask." I said, "I've been vaccinated already." And she went, "What?" And I said, "I got vaccinated." And she goes, "What do you mean you got vaccinated?" And I went, "I got the card in the mail. I got vaccinated." She goes, "What card?" And I go, "Didn't you hear about that?" And she goes, "No." And I went, "You get a postcard in the mail." I go, "It's got a barcode on it. You know, one of those scan codes?" And she goes, "Yes." And I said, "It gives you the address, you know, to whatever hospital is nearest to you." I said, "For me, it was Tri-City right here." I said, "You go in, you go online, they scan the barcode, you go in, you get the vaccination, and you're good." I go, and I reached in my pocket like being a dick, and I went, "I have my card somewhere. I go, fuck, I must have left it." And she stopped me, and she goes, "Oh, wait a minute." She goes, "You got a post?" I go, "Yeah, you get a postcard in the mail or a letter in the mail." I go, "I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know if it's age or name related or address, whatever." And she goes, "No, oh my God, I apologize. I'm so sorry. I said, no problem. I go, "But it's not everyone knows about it." I said, "But when you go home, check your mailbox." She goes, "Oh, I will." And she gets to the car and she took off. And the girl doing the fucking garbage looked at me and she goes, "I can't believe that." And I said, "Stupidity." I go, "Stupidity shines." And she goes, "I don't know what's more unbelievable." She goes, "The way she listened to you or how smoothly you just gave her a line of bullshit." And I go, "You see how fucking stupid people are? She's believing some idiot dressed up. I mean, I'm filthy in my work clothes. You know, just because I was getting in like a decent car, maybe gave her a little bit more of settled her mind a little bit that I was. But she's believing some fucking idiot who just walked out of fucking 7-Eleven with 5 Red Bulls in his hand that I was vaccinated, you know, on a fucking disease that they don't even have. They still to this day don't have a vaccination. But she must be at home waiting to fucking see me and kill me again if she ever sees me. Like, they're still working on a fucking vaccination. This asshole told me he was vaccinated. You know,
Dude, the crazy thing too is, I mean, out here there was like Baker, the governor of Massachusetts, like, well, certain things aren't going to open until stage 4 or whatever until we have a vaccine. I'm like, what? I'm like, there's no vaccine for the flu yet. That is like, I mean, there's flu vaccines, but there's none that encompass every flu, like, you know what I mean? Every strain of flu. There's no vaccine for the common cold. When do you think we're going to get a fucking vaccine for COVID? One's just going to get pulled out of our ass in 3 months? Like, you can't do that. You can't put a business on hold indefinitely and pending the development of a fucking vaccine. You know how much work and time and trials has to go into the development of a vaccine? Like, there's nothing even if they made one today, they wouldn't be able to release it for fucking months because they'd have to do so much fucking clinical testing on it. Like, you're going to tell someone they can't open their business until there's a fucking vaccine? Fuck you, dude. Like, you don't know what you're talking about, or you're a fucking asshole. Like, you know, that's all it comes down to.
Look, they put up, there was that one thing that came out that said they feel that the virus is disappearing too fast for them to even come up with a vaccine.
Yeah.
And then that woman, that one female doctor, she studied out of West Africa or whatever, she was on the, she came up and she said she's been using this hydrochlorine or whatever the fuck the name of it was. I don't remember. I'd have to watch it again.
Yeah, I saw that today.
But she said she's been treating patients with that with positive results. She had one death on her hand that she said wasn't even due to it, even though the person was positive for COVID. That wasn't the death wasn't related to it.
But it took about 7 minutes till the first meme trying to discredit her came out. I've already seen memes about it, and I'm like, all right. And that's like,
of course,
everyone gets their news from memes now, and that's like, all right, that's about the depth of people's fucking, whatever.
That's the thing too. We could go into for hours. Yeah. Journalism nowadays, it's being taught, and you read an article and read the end. It'll say of opinion. journalism nowadays doesn't have to be based on fact. You could write whatever the fuck you want as long as you state in the bottom in the small fucking print, this is my opinion.
Yeah.
And people are reading articles going, oh, look what I just read. Yeah, this is from some jerk off who has no fucking idea what he's talking about, saying, yeah, I think COVID is due to this. Stick it up your fucking ass and your man bun. I don't give a fuck. All this fucking horse shit, hipster bullshit, forget it.
Yeah.
Forget it. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And I think as much as people want to hear two fucking assholes with fucking East Coast accents get hyped up about this shit, we're already over 3 hour mark here, bud. We'll do another one another day. We got to do one in person because it's going to be this was awesome. We talked about a lot of shit. I think people have a little more perspective.
Person would be great.
Yeah, have a little more perspective on, the realities of a motorcycle shop in 2020. Yeah. But we got to do another one. We'll do one, when travel kind of can resume a little bit more or whatever. I definitely
whenever you want, you come. Like I said, you got a place to stay on the beach. We got the fucking shop. We would do a fucking podcast in this shop that would be so fucking epic. All podcasts would have to end.
I know. I'm gonna have to get like 2 more mics. You know what I mean? Like, and then we'll come out. I come out. We'll do it, and we'll get fucking retarded. Yeah, and we won't start it. We got to make it like it won't start till 3 a.m. You know what I mean?
Oh. Shit. Okay, we'll make it one of those nights. No problem.
Or 2 a.m., whatever. Yeah, whatever. We can start at 1 a.m., whatever. You know what I mean? And just for the, because that's going to be the prime time for maximum idiocy and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. But dude, in the dumpster, the whole nine.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. But dude, it was fucking good catching up. I know we talk here and there and everything, but
it was good, though.
It's definitely past due for I got to come out or you got to come out this way, but and we'll do that soon, man. And we'll definitely do next one face to face. And
hell yeah.
And this was the 25th episode, so I wanted to make sure, I don't know, 25 is not I know it's not a big milestone, but I guess it's like
a quarter. It's a quarter.
It's the first kind of milestone in this. I was like,
I'm
fuck
honored.
yeah, you have Nick, fucking old friend, and I haven't had as much motorcycle stuff lately, and I was like, all right, I got to bring it back. I got you. I got a couple other motorcycle guys lined up. I don't want. I never say anything until it's actually recorded. You know what I mean? And then I got more weird shit coming. And I obviously got more music shit coming. But dude, again, thank you for coming on today. Give a shout out. Plug your Instagrams and social media and websites, man. You know what I mean? Throw that out there.
Yeah. First of all, like I said, I'm honored. Thank you for having me. Yeah, the company, of course, is Industry Customs. We're on Instagram as at Industry Customs. We're located here in San Marcos, Southern California, San Diego County, North San Diego County. Everything's on the Instagram page, the hours, and the phone number and all that shit. You could get us. You could reach us there. I don't have a website or anything else. Believe it or not, that's all we have is Instagram, and fingers crossed, that's all we've needed so far. And it's been killing it. Yeah, it's been a good life, man. We're having a lot of fucking fun. We're keeping it rolling out here, and like I said, it's a get down fucking shop. If you need your bike done and you want it in a real fucking deal shop, and we have the capabilities of doing it all. We weld, we fabricate, we fucking machine shit, we customize shit, we do full performance ground up builds. I mean, everything is done right here. Your bike comes out here running tits, fucking looking good. It's fully protected. No one's gonna fuck with it, and you have a good time while you're here too.
Absolutely. And Nick will polish underneath your fender struts.
I polish underneath the fender struts and underneath the tank.
There you go. You shit you won't even ever see. We'll have a spit shine polish on there.
You fucking I'll even get down and clay it and wax it. You never know. It gets nuts. I get nuts in here.
It depends what time if it's whatever. We won't get into any of that. But
I'm not allowed to do that anymore. But,
good.
Every once in a while, I got a bottle of nitroglycerin. I can fix anything.
Yeah, it's probably for the best, my brother. Probably for the fucking best. But fuck yeah, man. We'll talk soon, man. I'm gonna. I got the show out already done. My graphics guy sent it to me while we were talking, and
cool.
I'm at the tattoo shop, and I'm actually looking at cops circling around, looking at me right now, probably trying to figure out what the fuck I'm doing. So I'm going to shut this off here so I can kind of deal with that situation. They probably know I'm talking to you, and they're probably trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
My phone's probably tapped. Yeah.
But anyway, all right, man. It was good talking to you, and I'll be up with you later on.
Sounds good, man. Take it easy.
All right, dude. Later.